Hey, it's Tiki Barber with 2 words any business owner wants to hear: extra income. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for Seattle businesses to assist with local deliveries. You get paid for each package delivered. Amazon Hub Delivery has no startup cost, no long-term contracts, and no delivery experience required. If you're a Seattle business ready to assist with local deliveries, sign up today at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic, with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors: pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4,139. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my car. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
All right, here we go. A man is murdered by 2 women in D.C. because they needed to steal his thumb.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a clown is busted in a prostitution sting, and for $100, he'll make you. 2 car dealer employees take joyride and total $100,000 ride. A man has snakes in his pants, but only one is single-eyed. And to California, where I-5 holds its first ever salsa festival. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, a few weeks ago, we did a big dummy poll where we asked where you would prefer to be if you were going to poop your pants. And one of the options was on a first date. Well, a few weeks after that, we got an email from a listener who explained that while pooping your pants on a first date was not his poll choice, pooping his pants on a first date was a very recent misfortune that he had experienced. You see, he was on a first date at a restaurant when he launched a river pickle into his pants. Now, incredibly, he managed to clean himself up and continue the date without her ever knowing. And if I remember correctly, they scheduled a second date. So well done, you filthy, filthy heathen. Now, whatever the case, he will always remember that first date. Then we stumbled upon a story of an OnlyFans model who praised the man for being such a chivalrous gentleman on their first date. So what noble act of chivalry did this man do? Well, according to her, they had a great first date. They really got along. It was so good, in fact, they went back to her place and they had sex. But unfortunately, during the act, she lost her butt plug, well, in her butt, and then spent hours trying to get it out of her backside before finally going to the hospital to have it surgically removed. So the question is, what did he do? Well, according to her, he stayed with her and assisted her every step of the way. That right there is romance. Now, we'll share her story coming up. But first, we want to hear your story in the form of an answer to our question. Today, we want to know, what made the first date memorable?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for Seattle businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but y'all's away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4139. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat on this lovely Wednesday, the return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, every week you bring us 3 stories of people doing bad stuff in the news. It is up to us to determine out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week on Who Sucks Less?
You know, it's not the worst in the world. I will say 2 of the 3 stories our very own Mike Hawk Tua presented to us during his headline segment yesterday. But it all involves airplanes, but we found a 3rd one to throw into the bad behavior in the skies mix.
What is going on up there?
I don't know.
It's almost every other day.
Are they not pressurizing the cabin anymore? Is it lack of oxygen?
Well, no, that's just a complete inconvenience to everyone on the flight. When you're 45 minutes into a flight, you have to turn around, or you're 2 hours in, and you need to make an emergency landing because people can't keep their crap together.
I know, man. I'm telling you, for every flight, because they always do the thing where it's like, hey, do you speak English? Can you sit in the emergency row? Right? If you're on a domestic flight, they ask you these questions. No problem with that. They should also ask, hey, who here wants to volunteer to be the plane bully? So in other words, when someone gets out of hand, we can either make the emergency landing and have all the inconvenience, or we are allowing you, we're going to hand you this Louisville Slugger, and you can end the problem. Well, so we can land on time.
Right.
Put them down if they're going to be a jackass. Shh. Yeah, just, hey, you want this bat? You better get back in your seat. Just put your seat back up. Because if we have to make an emergency landing because you're going to get in a fight about your reclined seat, we're going to hit you in the kneecaps with this damn baseball bat.
Yeah.
And one on the flight is going to mind.
Okay. So every once in a while, we'll get tips on just the airlines in general. You know, like kind of what to do, what not to do. Here are some tips on flying and blah, 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 blah. So I was in SeaTac not too long ago, and I got sitting at the bar, and the lady next to me was in plain clothes. All right.
Okay.
So we started talking because I still had about an hour and 15 minutes. And, she casually asked what I did. I asked what she did. And she said she's a flight attendant. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, well, yeah. She's like, my flight got in at like 6:30 this morning, but I have to wait for the crew that I'm going to fly out with tomorrow to get here. And then we all take a van to the hotel.
Okay.
All right. So she's like, I came in here. I'm just going to get some breakfast, get a couple drinks because I was up all night on an overnighter, and we get to the hotel, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah,
all right.
That makes sense.
Makes sense to me too. So I said, what are tips that you would give the general person? And she said, okay. She said, you're at the bar, you're drinking. And I said, yes. She's like, most people would like to sit in an exit row.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, we will not serve you nearly as much or any if you are in an exit row.
Really?
Well, you get extra leg room. So people say like, hey man, I want this aisle. And she's like, look, that's fine, but we will cut you off after 2 drinks, even on a 7-hour flight.
I will never take exit row again.
And I said, oh.
That makes sense, though.
It does. No, it makes complete sense.
You need to be capable of performing in the event of an emergency. And I told her, I was like, dude, I'd jump and spring into action quicker drunk than I ever was sober. I said, I got this.
Right.
Or if I'm sober, I'm like, what is happening on this plane? And she's like, well, that makes sense, but, not everybody.
But we can't do that.
Exactly. So the rules dictate that. So Who Sucks Less coming up. Also, speaking of drinking a cold beverage, we'll have some updated locations on the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Thank you for continuing to purchase that. It won't be too far down the line here where we will have an announcement about another Men's Room World Tour stop.
Yes.
As we continue the tour of the greater Pacific Northwest and bring you the joy of the brand new Men's Room IPA. Hopefully you found it. If you did, we appreciate all the emails that come into the Men's Room at KISW.com. Pictures help too, so we can put that up on social and keep spreading the word. If you go to KISW.com, we have what we believe to be an updated list. But there are a lot more places that are picking up the beer as far as it being on draft.
Like Rooney's in Woodinville. A friend of mine just texted me recently, honestly, like right before the show, to send me a picture of the tap.
Look for the bright yellow can.
Nice.
I just talked to my guy, Pete, down at Buckley's in Belltown. He said they ordered it. Should be on tap tonight.
Okay,
awesome.
There you go.
Oh,
so
wow.
those locations are not at KISW.com because they're just coming in.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be someplace, no matter where you are, shoot us an email, send a picture, and we'll include it and get it updated on the list because that thing is ever changing all the time. So.
Yeah, well, it's updated. It's Thrill and I are just reading text from our personal phone.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, like my phone, someone let me know. Like, send it to Mike.
That works. So today on the question, we're going to talk about first date and what made your first date memorable, even if you're going back to high school or a date you had a few years back. Maybe it was the first date you had with your significant other. You've been together for 30 or 40 years. Because when you go on that date, I don't think anybody envisions that this thing is going to last a lifetime. You hope that it's going to be a fun date. You hope you're going to have fun. Some end up being a lifelong experience.
Sure.
Obviously, people who've been married for 50-some years, 40 years, 30 years, they all went on a first date. I guarantee you that none of them thought that they would be with that person for the rest of their life. They would see what happens. They like the person.
Right.
They're obviously attracted or they wouldn't be getting together. But you don't see that coming. So that's an oddity as well. I mean, that's something that happens not as often as it should, but it's just the truth of the matter.
My parents have been together for 60 years this year, And after 60 years, I wonder, like, do you remember your first date?
Do they ever talked about it?
Man, I know how they met. I don't. I think my mother may have told me the first time my dad came to pick her up, I believe he had to borrow his roommate's car. His roommate had a green Studebaker. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
Station wagon, right?
Yeah. I mean, even station wagons are like, whoa, buddy. We know we're ugly. We're not Studebaker. But the guy had, if I remember this correctly, it was a green Studebaker, and the guy wanted like red leather interior, but he couldn't afford that, so he had spray painted the interior red.
Ooh,
and
classy.
This is the car. Yeah, exactly. I believe that's the point my mother was like, I'm not getting in that car because the spray paint, when I sit down, then it's going to stick to my clothes, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be cute. So I don't know how the date went, but I know how they met. They did not start off on the right foot. And I know that first date, my mother was not so impressed with the vehicle that my dad was in.
Who was the person that caused the little tiff when they first met?
Technically, my mother, all right?
So I'm shocked by this.
They were, well, no, not even her mouth this time. They were at a party, and my dad's friend, who he is still friends with to this day, all right? So my dad's 84 years old. They have been friends since they were 6 years old, kindergarten. So this time, they're in their early 20s. They're at a house party, and Sam, who is my dad's friend, was hitting on my mom first, okay? So then my father comes over because my mother had taken a seat. She thought my father was coming over to hit on her. My father came over because he was pissed, and as she says, he was like, hey, you're sitting on my goddamn cigarettes. I can't believe you don't look down where you're going to sit. And, like, if you know my dad, that's about the conversation I would expect.
Yes,
so,
pay attention.
But she does not know my dad at this point, right? So he lays into her about sitting on the cigarettes. She crushed the cigarettes. If you're a cigarette smoker, there's nothing more frustrating than a pack of broken cigarettes.
Which probably were 22 cents at the time.
Oh, I'm sure they were dirt cheap. But she broke
yeah.
the cigarettes. So he was pissed, and she said something back. He said something back. For the rest of the party, they did not speak to each other. They knew, like, we don't like each other. It's fine. She broke a cigarette. She's like, F that guy. He's all highfalutin about his damn cigarettes. So as the party's winding down, somehow my father ended up being like the DD, and my mom needed a ride. And so he was dropping off some other chick first. I think it was her friend. And then he ended up dropping my mother off. But as she said it, when she went down to the car, she didn't realize it would be him. And he was just like, no. Like, when he see, like, no. And she's like, look, man, I need a ride home. You're giving my friend a ride home. I believe it was her friend that convinced my dad, just drop her off. He's like, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked my mom, where do you live? So first he asked the woman, where do you live? The woman gives whatever her address is, okay? So my dad goes, all right, fine. Looks at my mom, and he's like, you, woman, where do you live? She says around the corner. My father misunderstood that she meant around the corner from the party, not around the corner from her friend's house.
Right.
But her friend's house is like 15 miles away, so he drives to the friend's house, drops her off, and he says, okay, where around the corner do you live? My mother says, like, around the corner from the party. And again, if you know my dad, this frustrates him. Jesus,
right.
I asked you this question. So, like, this is how they met. But they got to know each other on that long-ass car ride to get back to her place. She said, like, 3 days later, gets a weird phone call. It's my dad. He asked her out, and they had the first date.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it all went
not that this was the craziest thing in the world, but my wife, we'd worked together at the time. And, of course, when you're working at a place, the last thing that you want to do is get involved with somebody that you work with, period.
They want sex with each other, but not get involved.
Right? It's too much. Like, obviously, you find this person attractive, whatever. So I see her in the hallway one day, which was unusual because the sales department was on the second floor, and we were on the first floor of this building in Baltimore called the Rotunda, where the studios were. But I see her in our general area. Now, 2 days before that, and I was working at a classic rock station, we were sponsoring a concert at Merriweather Post Pavilion, the equivalent of,
White River,
yeah, for the most part. And Jimmy Buffett was in town. Now, if you know anything about me, Jimmy Buffett at that time, it's not that I did not like Jimmy Buffett.
You did not like Jimmy Buffett.
He was kind of the antichrist of my existence. And the reason
it's not that I didn't like him. He was my personal antichrist.
Ted, you just went to a Grateful Dead show. I was more of a Grateful Dead type fan. I listened to, at that point in time, I was listening to a lot of Fish, a lot of Grateful Dead. That's just where I was in my headspace, smoking a lot of weed. And Jimmy Buffett was the antichrist of that based on the crowds. I appreciated the fan base. I appreciate everything about it, but to me, it was suits. It was suits, the bosses, the people that I never really wanted to hang around with, even in my own neighborhood. The guys that normally wore a tie, now they're putting on the Tommy Bahama shirt, and they're going to cut loose, which is fine. It's just I'm used to Grateful Dead. I'm used to buying a hit of acid in the parking lot.
Right.
I'm used to buying a grilled cheese in the parking lot. I'm used to wearing a tie-dye shirt and Birkenstock, which is not too far off from the attire. It's just the people, right? So, but I still had a pair of tickets to go to the show. And I was supposed to stop by the booth and whatever.
Buffett's always felt like more booze than where, like, the other stuff, you probably lean more towards drugs.
But blended booze.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just get a shot. I mean, it's like some tropical drink. Sure, it has vodka, it can have Jack, but like it ain't solo.
Right. And I'd never been to a Jimmy Buffett concert. So she passes me in the hallway and she says, "Hey, are you going to go to Jimmy Buffett on Wednesday night?" Or whatever night it was. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. You know, I wasn't sure. I was kind of on the fence. And I was like, "Why? Are you going to go?" She's like, "I want to go real bad. I don't have a ticket." And I'm like, "I have an extra ticket if you want to go with me." And she's like, "I would love that. I would love to go see Jimmy Buffett." I was like, "All right, game on." So now I'm going to Jimmy Buffett for sure because much like John Mayer.
John Mayer and Maroon 5,
Maroon 5.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, Jimmy Buffett. We'll go to Jimmy Buffett. What could possibly go wrong? So we get to this place and start tailgating, so to speak, in the parking lot. Now, tailgating was a lot different then. There were people who had the plug into your cigarette lighter blenders on the back of their, tailgates on their SUVs, and people had like all kinds of different food and chips, and very friendly, inviting you over.
Sure.
So we were drinking margaritas in the parking lot with
Imagine
a few people we ran into that we kind of knew. The next thing you know, we're in a limo. I don't remember how we got into a limo. Somebody that she knew in a group of her friends and their rich people came down in a limo.
All right.
She saw her friend in the parking lot, like, "I'm going in the limo to get stoned." So, of course, we're piling in the limo. Then we get in the limo, and it's a full stock bar. There's beers everywhere. There's like 10 different kinds of liquors. There's mixers. I'm in this limo. I'm like, oh, game on, man. Game on. So I'm mixing drinks. I'm smoking weed. I go to the show, and honest to God, we probably danced most of the night in the grass. The show was great. I mean, we had a wonderful time. It was great weather. The band was fantastic.
And you were drunk and high.
I was drunk and stoned, and we had a really good first date.
Yeah.
And then we ended up, going home and knocking boots.
First date.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
All right. And then we got married. But I'm just saying, like, it was
just like that.
I wasn't looking forward to the night. I wasn't looking forward to going to any of this. And typically that's how it works on any show. You know, if you're not really fired up to see the band and you don't really have any expectations or whatever, you go and you just have a good time. It's the bands that you really love and you have cared about, and you go see them and you're like, they kind of suck tonight.
Well, it's the thing. Like, you brought up John Mayer and Maroon 5. And look, they're fine, but he's doing Your Body is a Wonderland crap. And I hate crap like that. I just really deeply, passionately hate this stuff. But I'm not sure if she's my girlfriend yet, but now wife was like, "Hey, can you believe Maroon 5 and John Mayer are playing together?" And in my mind, I'm like, I can. It sounds like a toilet ticket to me. But I don't say this out loud because I can tell where this is going. She's like, "Well, hey, I got some tickets to work," and they were great seats. I would really, but her thing was, obviously, I can't even see Maroon 5. She wanted to see Adam Levine. Let's not kid ourselves. And John Mayer. I don't know if she went for the music or if it's just the fact that John Mayer.
Both of those guys.
Either way, I don't care. I don't want to go to the show.
Well, in all fairness, Maroon 5's first album was actually...
It was a good album.
It almost sounded like Jamiroquai.
But they were not on their first album anymore. I saw them on the first album. It was a great show because the only things they could play were off of their first album. Well, now they've moved on, and he's doing all that lovey-dovey, whatever. Anyway, we go to the show. Both bands put on a kick-ass performance. I could not believe it, all right? So Maroon 5 comes out. They're covering AC/DC, man. Adam Levine jumps on drums. I mean...
All right.
So actually a good show. I go, all right. Now, John Mayer comes out next. And I really, really don't want to see John Mayer. He played Your Body's a Wonderland, which I hate. I mean, the place went crazy. The girls love it. And I'm just like, F this dude. But he opened with that, okay? Every other thing else he played, I had never heard it before. And he's just shredding on guitar. Ted, you probably saw it for yourself, right?
He absolutely dude, shreds.
I had no idea that he could play like that. So at the end of the show, I'm like, look, if he put out an album where it's him just jamming on guitar, I would love this guy. I did not know he was talented. I know that sounds, but like, I didn't know he had skills. I just thought he's pumping out pop crap, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. End of that show, after enduring it, I too got laid. And, and we too got married. So here we are.
One thing about them, man. Grateful Dead has a 500-song catalog.
Yeah.
And every night they switch up that playlist.
I would too, man.
And John Mayer can pick up the guitar and play almost.
He can play freaking
every
anything.
Single song in their catalog and just rip it.
It feels weird even coming out of my mouth, but just having witnessed it, I'm telling you, that guy shreds on guitar like no other.
What made the first date memorable? 206.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, and quite another navigating the world of negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. Guidance from an agent who's a Realtor can make all the difference, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic, with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Hi, and welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Oh, my schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
Maybe it's time to embrace the joy of staying in. With comfortable beds, pillow and decor, mood lighting, and so much more, you can turn your bedroom into the place to be.
Oh, sounds like a dream.
We've got you. Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/sleep to create your dream bedroom today.
Coastal Farm and Ranch. We're just what the country needs.
On July 24th through the 28th, it's buy 2, get 1 free on Country Companion Feed. Buy 3, get 1 free on Sunglow Show Feed. And buy 3, get 1 free on large bags of Purina Feed.
Coastal Farm and Ranch. We're just what the country needs.
Get more feed for less this week at your local Coastal.
3 Rock.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Sunday mornings don't typically start with me lying on my back, legs wide open with a finger in my backside. Specifically not in a hospital bed with a finger belonging to a nurse. But after a first date failed, that's how I was spinning it, according to this article. Sunday morning, laying in a hospital bed with a plug lost inside of me. It all started when I was chatting with a guy on social media. Great conversation. Asked to take me on a date. Turned out we got along even better in person. Came back to my place afterwards. We had sex, chemistry, awesome. We felt really comfortable. Might I add, comfortable enough to even try out some extra fun with my little plug there. And I've used them before while filming content for subscribers on my OnlyFans page. So I know how they're, quote, supposed to work. But while we were engaging there, I had a sudden feeling of something what I thought was coming out. We stopped and I said, wait, it came out? But the plug could not be found. So we started searching through the bed, pillows, oddly enough, even under the bed, looked at each other laughing and said, this can't be. I took myself to the bathroom and tried to see if I could feel it inside, but I could not. I then inserted it in other places to see through the wall if there was anything there. My date then suggested I squat in the shower and try to push the plug out and direct it downward. As he tried to grab onto it, but this was unsuccessful. My date then attempted to retrieve said plug himself. He was able to get around the flared base, but had no success of being able to hook his finger around to pull it. We couldn't believe it. We didn't expect to get to know each other this well on a first date. Not at all squeamish about the events that were unfolding. My date was far more concerned about making sure that I was okay. We both couldn't stop laughing about how this wild first date was playing out. So giving up, I called my best friend. She's a nurse, asked for advice. She laughed hysterically before offering some solutions, which included taking some laxatives, trying to pass it myself, or the other option, the emergency room. Well, I was horrified at the thought of taking laxatives and not being able to pass it, ending up in not one but 2 very unideal situations. So off we headed to the hospital. In an attempt to manually remove it, a nurse used one finger to try the hook technique. That was pretty uncomfortable. She was kind and patient, encouraged me to breathe and try to relax. That was easier said than done. Her numerous attempts failed. Another nurse tried again. No luck. With no other options, a surgeon advised I need to be put under anesthesia and go through a small surgery to remove the plug. I was not concerned nor scared by this information, as it appeared as though it was going to be a straightforward procedure. I'd be home in a few hours. It wasn't until a separate conversation with the surgeon where he explained the risks that I started to worry. He advised if they weren't able to remove it, they would be required to make an incision through my stomach and colon to get in there. And if this happened, it would result in a longer and more intense recovery. The worst part is that I would not know if this would be required until I was in the surgery. Real fear now started to set in on me. I was moved to a surgical unit, dressed in garments, ready to be whisked away at any second. However, due to how busy the hospital was, I had to wait for surgery for 2 days. Worked on my laptop, watched movies, slept trying to pass the time. I'm not allowed to eat or drink, as I could be taken into surgery at any moment.
Jesus.
You know how that works? They tell you don't eat or drink anything after midnight or whatever the number is before you go in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Nearing the end of day 2, it was unknown how long I was going to be there, and it started to become overwhelming. I was hungry, bored, and wanted all this over. By the way, on top of it all, I was feeling a little scared. My date only left my side to go to work, and once visiting hours had ended, he was not allowed to stay at the hospital. So he was there the entire time.
Yeah, it's your first date.
Finally, after 2 days, I was taken into surgery. I signed a next of kin waiver. I was put to sleep. It was all I could do there was no point in getting myself worked up. I did not know. Well, I woke up in recovery 10 minutes later, relieved to see no incisions to my stomach. I was discharged 2 hours later, and on my way home, my recovery was easy with no pain or discomfort. And that was our first date.
That's a hell of a first date.
You're not going to forget that.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Russell. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
All right, so I met this girl online. We were talking for probably a month, and I lived in Everett. She lived down in Kent. I worked in Shoreline. So we're like, all right, let's get together. Let's get dinner. We're going to go to this Thai restaurant. I thought it'd be cool and ride my motorcycle. She'd never been on a bike before, so pick her up. Or she met me in Northgate. We took the bike, rode out to the restaurant, got food, and then I kind of started feeling a little sick, so we drove back to where her car was. And I'm trying to play it cool, like, hey, yeah, well, it was really good meeting you. I'd love to hang out again. And I was out. I was like, I have to get out of here. I'm going to S myself. So I'm like, okay, I can get to my work. I got my badge. I'll go and use the bathroom there. I get to my work. It's right there. So I scan my badge. It beeps. Door doesn't open. Scan it again. Door doesn't open. I'm like, no. And I keep scanning this thing. It won't open. I go in the parking lot. First step I take, it just spurts out. I'm like, oh, God. And then it just all dumps out. Just straight diarrhea.
And this is in your pants?
In my pants, in the parking lot of my work. There's a video of me probably 5 minutes standing by my bike, my hands out saying, I got to get on this thing. What am I going to do? I have to get on this thing. Who am I going to call? Nobody. No one's going to pick me up. I have to sit on my bike.
Yeah, nobody wants you in their car if that's the situation.
Exactly. So I finally got up the courage. I lift my leg. By this time, it's gotten cold. So I lift my leg and just squish down in it. This stuff ran into my work boots all everywhere. I was racing home. I was like, if I get pulled over, I was going to say, sorry, officer, I asked myself. I'm just trying to get home and get in a shower.
Now, did you drive a bike where you're leaning over on the handlebars, or were you able to sit in enough? Basically, anybody behind you had a pretty good idea what was going on, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So,
okay.
I was able to get home. I got naked in the driveway and ran into the house. And my roommate was like, what are you doing?
Fair question.
And what is that smell? And so I got in the shower. Next morning I went outside and looked at the damage, and it was everywhere. I just had to throw it all away. But I did save the boots because those were really expensive.
Yeah. And I'm guessing, did you hose down the seat on your bike?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there was a wet spot on the seat.
Oh, God, man.
Yeah. It was everywhere.
Have you been on a second date, or did you go on a second date with this woman?
I ended up dating her for 3 years, and I didn't even tell her about it until probably a year in. I was like, hey, remember that first date?
Year in?
That's why I took off. She was like, I was wondering why you wanted to leave so bad. I thought there was something wrong with me. I was like, no.
No, something wrong with my butt.
Tell me.
Did she laugh about it, or was she disgusted?
She thought it was the funniest thing. She was like, I can't believe you waited this long to tell me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of a hard Mike and I were actually talking about this earlier, right? You crap yourself on the first date, but your date does not realize you've done it. Your relationship continues. What's the point that you tell them? Like, I'm not going to tell you on the second date.
Okay,
the
same time you feel comfortable farting in front of them, probably. I mean, at that
this
point
is different. This is different, man. You know what
I mean, I feel like you get a year seems long.
A year seems long.
But I feel like
3 months? Or do you want a little more time to establish?
I'm going to say somewhere in the 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months.
And also, I think it depends on who you are and how quickly you say, like, I love you or this or that.
Sure. Yeah, that goes a long way. I mean, look,
Right.
because I'll fart in front of anybody. It does, but to me, that's a much different. So, like, I farted in front of my wife pretty much as soon as we met. She says her name, I'm Steve, right? That's just me. But if I'd also crap myself, I would not have told her real quick that happened.
Back to his key card not working. I don't know why this is. Ted, you just spent a couple nights down in Vegas. At one point in time, I was in Vegas. And it might have been 2 or 3 nights down there. I don't remember if we were at a convention or whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
I had a very similar instance happen to me. But the thing is that it was like every day I had to go down to the front desk and have them redo my card.
Okay.
It was almost like they didn't have me down for 3 nights. They only had me down for like one night.
Right, so like 11:01 it would end.
And I'm just like, and so, of course, at one point, and by the way, in the Hard Rock Hotel, which I believe now is the Virgin, if you've ever stayed there.
Yeah.
My hotel room was a frickin' mile away from, and I could have used the bathroom by that round bar in the lobby.
Why didn't you just use that one, man?
Because I was going to go back to, my room and just take my time, take a couple Advil, maybe jump in the shower, kind of refresh myself, whatever the deal is. And I walk up there, and of course my card key does not work. And I'm just like, God, darn it. It always works. It never worked. If my room was right beside the lobby, it would work every time. But when it's like a mile away, and then the next day the same thing happened again. I did not have to use the bathroom.
Are you like monkey fingering at this point?
No, it's just like they reset the card.
No, I mean the first time, like, because you had to poop, right?
I did make it back downstairs.
Okay.
And poop by the John Varvatos store. But,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right.
Did you get a V-neck?
I know exactly what that bathroom is, man.
I couldn't afford it. What made the first day memorable? 206-803
I'm
Rock.
not kidding you, Miles. I use that exact same bathroom for the exact same reason.
Oh, God.
We were coming back into the casino, and the John Varvatos store is closer to one of the entrances you can get in, but my room's in a different tower, and I'm like, I've got to use this bathroom. Like, there's no chance I'm going to make it. I wonder how many people, just based on its location, there's probably been more poop in the John Varvatos bathroom than probably anywhere else in that casino.
And it's just the design of that hotel.
Yeah,
You're
it
right.
is.
It used to be the Hard Rock. And it's just like, I'm with you. Like, you got to hoof it.
You go 75 yards down the hallway, right? And then you make a left. Because that's the only way.
Another
That's the only way you
75
go.
yards.
You go another. And my room was at the very end of this huge L. I mean, to be honest with you, I could have run 2 100s. In there. I mean, just to get to my room, it couldn't have been a worse case scenario.
Somebody here says your cell phone can mess up the hotel key cards for some reason. Not sure why, but ever since I learned this, I always put my phone and my hotel key card in separate pockets, and I haven't had the issue.
Do magnets still mess with them?
No, I heard something like with your credit card.
That was way back in the day. But
I don't know, but I always end up putting my hotel key in my wallet anyway, next to my credit cards, debit card. I've never had a problem.
Right, I put it in my wallet, but I always keep my wallet and keys on one side and my phone on the other.
Right. Yeah. I have no idea.
What made the first day memorable? 206-803 Rock.
Hello, Roberto. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and s'mores.
Hola.
Hola. Well, my first date, I was in Reno doing a trade show booking conference for fairs and festivals. I do a comedy juggling stunt show.
Oh, I thought you were selling eye patches.
No,
Stunt show.
Wasn't doing that. I'm doing. I do a unicycling pogo stick, juggle tasers and chainsaws and all that stuff. And
are you tasing yourself?
No, I try not to. I try to make sure I catch the right end of that thing when I'm juggling it.
I got you.
But I'm at the trade. Beautiful 6 foot tall gal walks by and I'm. So I'm like, she looks hot. I like taller women. I don't have a choice. And so anyhow, we ended up going on our first date. We went skiing up at Lake Tahoe. She was actually there at the convention working with a reptile show. And so after we went skiing, we went back to her room. And in the room, she had iguanas and lizards and turtles and all these animals, all these critters in her room.
How bad did the room smell?
It didn't smell bad because
okay.
they would have the critters out there for the trade show, and just bring them up to the room at night.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't like they were up there all the time.
Okay.
But I'd already checked out of my room, so I was like, hey, is it cool if I hop and
Hello.
Go into the shower, and there's an alligator in the shower.
Oh.
And so I'm like, hey, there's like an alligator in here. She said, hey, don't worry about it. That's little Al. He likes to shower. You're all good. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Wait, she wants you to climb into the shower with an alligator.
How big is the alligator? Is it a caiman size, or is it like 4 feet long? How big is it?
Probably about 5.5, 6 feet.
So it's a big alligator.
I mean, that's a decent-sized gator.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a big-sized gator, and apparently he's totally friendly. They do photos where he sits on people's laps, and they pet him, and he's totally cool. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to shower with the gator. So she came in, and she pulled him out of there, and I shut the door, and I start showering, and it was one of those glass doors that has a hole for where you pull the door shut, in the shower stall.
Yeah.
And little Al scooted over there, and I looked through that little hole, and I could see him peering up at me, just going, let me in. He was like a dog scratching at the door. And so I'm showering I'm like washing my hair with one eye looking down at him. He's looking up at me, and I finished the shower, and I'm like, hey, he's blocking the door. I can't get out. And so she came in, and she grabbed him and took him out, and that was our first date, and we've been together ever since. It's been 15 years now, and we have 3 kids, and it was awesome. First date.
Do you? Is she still into the reptile game?
What's that?
Is she still into the reptile game?
No, she's not. But the company she worked for was out of Corvallis, Oregon, Brad's World Reptiles, and he knew the crocodile guy.
Steve Irwin
from Australia. Yeah, Steve Irwin. So this guy Brad has probably about 2,000 different reptiles that he houses, and then he goes around to different events and shows them off and what. So Brad's still doing it, but my wife, no, she's an at-home mom and taking care of the kids and.
I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sorry, I think his wife's name is Terry, and I think she's from that area of Oregon.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that.
Irwin's wife.
He does.
Yeah,
he does yeah, and their kids down that way as well, but yeah, it was a great first date, and she's awesome, and we after we were all done, played a little, hide the anaconda, what I'm talking about, and it was a good first date.
Did you put your anaconda in a Tupperware container like all the other reptiles?
No, I did not.
Okay,
but that's what you should call our nether regions now, the Tupperware container. Take it back to the reptile days. Roberto,
anaconda wanted some.
I'm curious to know, man. You're talking about juggling tasers and all that, and you made mention that obviously you try to catch it on the right end. How many times did you not?
In one show I was doing, the taser hit my finger, and it blew my finger up my finger was black and blue. It smelt burnt, and I just dropped the taser, and it broke into pieces. And obviously, I didn't finish that routine. But yeah, so I've been tased on my finger once, and it was probably my fingertip was numb for like a week.
How tall is your unicycle?
I ride for most shows, a 6-foot unicycle, but I do NBA halftime shows, and I ride a 10-foot unicycle and shoot 3-pointers atop a 10-foot unicycle. So I've done halftime shows for every NBA team across the country.
All right, are you personal friends with Red Panda?
I am. I know Red Panda. In fact, I was recently on the Scott Van Pelt show, and he kept saying, "We all know the Red Panda, but who is this man, Roberto the Magnificent?" And I got a 1-minute spot on the Scott Van Pelt show.
Nice.
And that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was back in February.
How did you learn to be, what is do you do this with padding around you in case you fall, or do you learn to jump off, or how do you learn to get up there, balance it, and then just kind of figure that whole thing out?
I started performing back in 1980 when I was 11 years old. So I've been at this for 44 years, and I've never had a job other than doing shows, but most of my skills I learned when I was a kid, when it didn't hurt to fall, and now it's mostly about just the presentation, and I've got all the skill set. It's just how I present it, and it's a comedy stunt show, so it's all based on audience participation and comedy.
I'm reading about you right now, man.
Have you ever wiped out in an NBA arena?
You know, I've never wiped out, but I was doing a finals game in San Antonio, and my tire was flat, and I didn't have a spare tire, so I was riding on the rim with no air in the tire, and I missed all my shots. And I'm like, man, it's my biggest halftime was San Antonio. It was Miami at San Antonio a few years back, and man, I was literally about ready to poop myself on that 10-foot unicycle. But I didn't have to bail. I made it through.
How much do you practice shooting from 10 feet up? I mean, do you have an arena you go to just make sure you can hit
Well,
threes?
also, his unicycle's so tall. I'm watching him. He's just dunking it. He's like above the rim. His unicycle's so tall.
Yeah, it's pretty tall. The 3-pointers I shoot about 80% from the 3-point line. But what I do is I've got a gym. I live in Edmonds, so I got a gym that I go to down in Edmonds. I got a guy who rebounds for me. So I'll go in and shoot about 100 to 200 shots in a round.
I bet people look at you. People look at you weird, man. Like, what is this guy doing?
Exactly. Yeah. It's for me, it's a gig. It's what I do and how I support my family. And I just feel lucky. I make a living doing something I love to do.
You got to email us, dude. We got to get you out.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm reading.
I'm like, we got to get you to a World Tour
reading all the
or
stuff you're
something.
doing.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, I would love to come out and do some stunts when you guys do your live show up at the casino or something.
Yeah.
Let's
We'd love to have. I'll tell you what, man. Send us an email, and we can stay in contact that way and make it happen. But Ted's watching your videos. I'm reading all the crap about you.
Awesome.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You started with the Gentlemen Jugglers in 1980. I'm just looking at all this stuff, man. You've been
that
around.
was juggling golf drivers.
You've gotten to go to Japan to see. Okay, one thing I'm curious to know. Okay, so I love what you do, but there's got to be times we run into difficulty in the sense of, you said, like, you're going to buy a house, and banks are real thorough, and the mortgage company, they want to know what you do, how much money you make. Like, what do you officially put down as your job title?
Just entertainer. And so I've got a couple of properties, but yeah, that was interesting. But if you got enough money to put down on a down payment,
they don't care.
Banks will work with you.
You can write Hitman.
Okay.
They'd be like, fine.
Let's just say you're flying to Dallas. You're flying to Dallas this weekend. United Airlines loses your unicycle. You land in Dallas. Can you find a unicycle?
You can't. Yeah, it's happened twice in my career. My stuff didn't make it on the flight, and I just had to hey, there's nothing I can do, and they understood, and we just rescheduled it for another game.
All right, that's great, man. Awesome.
Yeah, it happens.
Yep.
But
what a great story.
I love your guys' show. Your show is awesome. I anytime I can when I'm home. I just got home from a 45-day tour, and I'm home for a week and hanging out with the kids. But whenever I'm driving, man, I'm listening to your show, and you guys are so awesome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Hopefully
man.
we get to meet you in person, man.
Gotta say, Roberto, man, I apologize. I know Red Panda. I should know who you are. This is great stuff.
We're just checking out your stuff. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, man.
And
cool.
SVP's a good College Park guy, too.
Yep.
Maryland guy.
Hey, man, be in touch.
Hey, thanks. Have a great show.
Yeah,
Bye.
man, appreciate it, brother.
Hey, right on, man.
Our question, what made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with 2 words any business owner wants to hear: extra income. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for Seattle businesses to assist with local deliveries. You get paid for each package delivered. Amazon Hub Delivery has no startup cost, no long-term contracts, and no delivery experience required. If you're a Seattle business ready to assist with local deliveries, sign up today at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Looking for a great deal on a John Deere compact tractor? Don't miss this special offer. Right now, Pape Machinery is offering 0% financing for 84 months on select John Deere compact utility tractors. Pick up a premium John Deere machine and start transforming your property today. Stop by Pape Machinery Ag and Turf at 830 Evergreen Street in Linden to get started. Financing offer valid through July 31st. On approved credit only. Eligible models include 1 Series, 2 Series, and 3 E-Series tractors. See dealer for details.
Question for you. What business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious Seattle businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. And with each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Coastal Farm and Ranch. We're just what the country needs.
On July 24th through the 28th, it's buy 2, get 1 free on Country Companion Feed, buy 3, get 1 free on Sunglow Show Feed, and buy 3, get 1 free on large bags of Purina Feed.
Coastal Farm and Ranch. We're just what the country needs.
Get more feed for less this week at your local Coastal.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Zach. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, guys. So what made my first date memorable was the girl that I met on Tinder took me to a concert, and while I was there, I got a message from another girl that I was dating who said that when I was done with that date, we should go to the strip club and hang out with her until she got off work. So I asked the first girl. She was down, so we did.
Wait, how did you ask her? Did you say, like, hey, I'm dating someone else, and they wanted me to set the strip club?
Well, it was a first date, so I was up front and was like, hey, I've been, talking to other people, and one of the people that I was talking to happens to be a stripper and wants to know if we want to come to the club.
All right, fair enough.
And she was like, what does she look like? So I asked for a selfie from the stripper. She sent a selfie, and she was like, yeah, she's cute. Let's go. So we went to the strip club where I was introduced to a second stripper who was the hottest woman I have ever seen in my entire goddamn life.
All right.
And the way I was introduced to her was she came over, got on her knees, and grabbed my manhood.
Hello.
Yeah. And she went, yeah, I can work with that.
Okay, cool, good.
Was this a local strip club? Because maybe you'll encourage people to go.
Can I name names?
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Devil's Triangle.
Oh, it sounds that way.
Okay, it's right in the name.
Aptly named.
I never even heard of it.
It is not one of the nicer strip clubs, but it's there.
Okay, so I guess you had a pretty good night, all things considered.
I did. So midnight rolls around, the girls get off work, and the four of us go to the Unicorn, have a couple of drinks, and then we all go back to stripper one's house and end the night with a four-way.
One dude, 3 chicks.
Yeah, 1 dude, 3 chicks.
You did it right, my friend. You did it right.
Did they make sure that your date was taken care of?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Had a great time.
Did you get a second date out of that?
We're still dating.
Okay.
You're still dating.
All right.
How long have you guys been dating?
About a year.
All right, man.
Good for you.
Good for you. And they say sex on a first date is bad.
I thought you were going to say it was like 20 years ago.
Maybe you just need to add more women to the mix.
So the place is still in business.
Right. Yeah. Damn.
The place is going to be packed tonight. What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Candy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I'm with you, Mike. Ironic name after that story.
Yeah.
Candy.
Yep. I wanted to say also real quick that Roberto the Magnificent, I've been watching him for at least 20 years. He is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
good to
with
know.
ya.
I had never heard of the guy. And then, he presented himself. We pulled him up. We Googled him. And it looks like he has an incredible freaking resume, man. It's pretty awesome.
Incredible. Yep. Plays the piano fair and everything. He's hilarious and so skilled. It's a wonderful show.
Awesome.
Yep. And my first date, we were young, and we were going on a date in Eastern Washington taking a long country road, and it had a huge dip in one area. My boyfriend, I actually married him. We were married for 10 years. But the first date, he had the sweet El Camino, and he went down in the dip, and a farmer did not see him.
Oh, no.
In his big white truck and his Stetson hat, his windows open, and he pulled straight out in front of us at the top of the dip, and we hit him sideways, knocked his truck across the street. We went flying in the ditch, and all I can remember is his Stetson hat spinning in the air all by itself. That was
Where did he go?
across the road, the whole truck. We knocked right behind, thank goodness, right behind the driver's seat. Knocked him across the road, and no seat belt, so I busted the windshield with my head. But we were so, he was so sweet. They took us in and called the whatever, EMS and everything, but we were okay. But we were so young and stupid. We were excited when they gave us $25 each for our pain and suffering. So we ended up getting married. $25.
How long did you guys date before you got married?
Close to a year.
All right. Okay. And how old were you when this happened?
Let's see, I was 17, almost 18.
And how long did you guys stay together?
10 years.
Okay. That's pretty successful at that age.
At that age, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hell, that's successful at any age these days,
I
man.
was trying to think. I was doing some math there. Yeah, that's pretty good. What made the first day memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Yeah, my wife and I just hit 17 years on Sunday. 17, but we've been together for 20. And the crazy thing about our first date, I mean, look, the first date was fine. I think the thing that's most memorable for both of us is that our first official date, once again, another concert, free tickets. I can't remember who the hell it was, but
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash. But the thing my wife remembers is that Ted was with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, man, it's my first date with this chick, and you'd met her. But I'm like, yeah, it's my first official date. Ted's like, I'll go. I'm like,
Is that the Fridays?
Cool. Fridays.
So those might be two different nights.
It was Power Plant Live.
Right, but I'm saying,
Friday.
I know we had the three of us, ironically, had dinner on Fridays.
Just saying. I'm like, yeah, my buddy Ted's come. But she was cool. And then Ted disappeared. No third wheel. Yeah. Didn't see him through the entire concert. When we finally catch up, that's when I found out somehow you made it backstage and eating some of the band's food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's my buddies, and then I had done it too. They used to work for a catering company for all the shows. So
okay.
Right, so I texted them, and they were like, "Dude, come backstage." Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, she kept saying, "Have you seen Ted?" I said, "Look, I don't know where he's at." You know what I mean?
Well, the other thing is Crosby, Stills, and Nash at that point, they're not crazy partiers.
No, not at all.
So I started eating their fish, and then they were like, "Come back after. You got to help us." But it's all you could drink all the free leftovers, right? Because you just stock it for those bands, whoever it is. Like I worked the first American Idol tour. Backstage. And same thing, it's just, that's what we did. When you were cleaning up, we would just shotgun beers or whatever.
I will say that if you ever get the chance to perform with or work for a band, hope that the band is getting up there in age because they will give you their booze. We played Snoqualmie Casino, I think it was, with Queensrÿche, right? They were just starting with a new singer, but they're getting up there. And the one thing, they got all this beer was delivered to them. So they were like, hey, man, none of us really drink before we go on the stage anymore. The singer just wants his Red Bull. They drink water. They'll have tea, right? All that kind of stuff. So all this beer's delivered, and we got the new originals there. We're 12 of us deep, and they're like, yeah, man, look, we're not going to drink. If you guys want it, before the period even hit the sentence, I mean, man, we raided those fridges, and we're just crushing their beer.
Well,
and I'm like,
Eddie and Parker
this.
were not happy at the end of that show. I remember that because they're like, there's not even one beer left.
Well, they said if you guys want it, you can drink it. And then we drink it.
I'm going to go Friday night to Live and Local Fest.
Yeah.
But if there's one time I want to strangle local bands, it's at Live Day.
Why is that?
Because I don't drink during the show.
Oh, no.
But afterwards, I very much like a cold beer. And I mean, year after year, I'd go back there like, son of a bitch. Someone just leave like 4.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803 Rock.
So I get where Parker's coming from. We're like,
well, I get it now, but he didn't say to leave it. He said if you guys want some. I'm like, yeah,
but
we do.
You want some doesn't say drink them all.
It doesn't, but I misunderstood the point they were making. That's what I told them.
Well, you guys had a hell of a show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hello, Lauren. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hola.
So anyhow, you guys remember way back when they had a 737 land at Boeing Field and they flew you down to Elko, Nevada to the casino?
No.
No? Anyhow, they did that back then. All you had to do was show some money, like $500 or whatever. So me and my girlfriend, not my girlfriend, my friend's girlfriend and him went down there. And so we kind of had a good time, stuff like that. And I bumped into a gal down there. And we hit it off, and we kind of went around the little tiny town. I mean, I didn't know why the casino was even there. So we're all kind of bummed out walking back to the casino to catch the area where we have to meet to catch a flight back. And they mentioned that the flight was canceled, and they had to put everybody up in the hotel room for the night. So basically, me and her shacked up in the hotel room and came back, and I hung out with her for about a year after that.
Well, is this like a small little town in the middle of Nevada?
Yes.
So there's a specific reason why they have that shuttle at the time. Like, no one goes there unless we shuttle people in to gamble?
Basically, you had to show $500, and needless to say, I don't think anybody came back with anything more than $1 in their pocket.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, hell, they run buses to casinos and everything else, but I've never heard of getting on a chartered plane and flying to a different state just to be able to go to the middle of nowhere.
I'm curious to know, right? If I get on a chartered plane or a private plane, can I, like, bring booze onto the flight? Like, I cannot get on a commercial flight, break out a bottle of Jack Daniels, and just start chugging. I understand that is fine. But if I have a private jet or if it's a chartered flight, like, could I bring that stuff on there? Is it okay?
I don't know.
I
If you
don't
have
know.
a private jet, I think you could do almost anything you want.
I've
been on a couple of chartered flights, but I did not in that capacity.
Right, but you were still in college, right?
One flight that was a couple flights that were just strictly the facility, the people in the program, and then one flight to the Caribbean, which was a chartered flight. Which basically,
how'd you get a chartered flight to the Caribbean?
Was it like the package through the
exactly.
Okay.
You know, like
Through the resort.
travel agencies used to do that kind of thing.
Oh, right,
You know,
right.
They take you down for a week or whatever the deal is, and let me tell you something, man. That if you got the deal was everyone was staying at the same hotel.
Yeah.
So if you got the all-inclusive package, which everybody did, that's all the drinks and all the food for the week. That was all part of the deal.
Sure.
Right? You basically did not have an option. You had to go all in, and it wasn't crazy expensive, but the food and beverage service started on the flight.
Okay.
For the resort.
Nice.
And continued when you got to the shuttle that took you to the hotel. So they had beers, they had wine, they had, whatever they had, just no liquor, but that was on the shuttle. On the airplane, man, game on. It was one of the greatest flights ever.
I mean, look, I never did it because I wasn't over 21 yet.
Yeah.
But pre 9/11, right? Like, I remember I had a buddy who was a little bit, he used to coach me, and that was like his thing. Whenever they would go to Jamaica every year, and just a regular airliner, and they would just bring a fifth of Captain, and they would get sodas and just mix them. I mean, I think you had to be a little sneak, but it wasn't like that crazy of an idea.
Okay.
And it wasn't like, you know what I mean? You could bring liquids and stuff through.
Well,
right?
yeah, in the good old days.
Oh, man,
Sneaking snacks into a movie theater.
And Mike,
yeah, right. It's not like, I'm sure even back then it probably wasn't
more frowned upon.
Right, but he was just like, yeah, just bring the fifth and just pour it in.
Mike, you could get, this is honest to God truth, the BWI back in the day, Air Jamaica, again, this is before 9/11, right? Yeah. So Air Jamaica, they would do flights multiple times a day, but they had a Friday afternoon special, and no one ever took the Friday afternoon special, and it was the last flight out on Friday night, and then there was one flight that was a late flight back, and you got put on that on Sunday. Now, if you went to the airport, they did have an international terminal and all that, but when you walked up, all the terminals were there in the front.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go through customs yet or any of that stuff. You go up to the counter and you'd say, do you guys have any flight or seats on standby? And it was $50 down and it was $50 back.
Done.
Complimentary drinks on the flight. All right. So you could drink as much as you want on Air Jamaica. By the way, every freaking woman on that flight looked like Sade. Just gorgeous.
Some of the most attractive women I've ever seen were boarding a flight to Jamaica at BWI.
Oh my God. I mean, you can't believe it. You're like, it's just like Rihanna's everywhere. But you could fly down for $50.
We ain't talking about
and then
cheeks.
with that $50 seat, guaranteed your flight back on Sunday.
All right.
You could fly down there for $100. You land in Montego Bay. They served you drinks and food the entire way down there. And then you could rent a hammock. And the hammock was $25 for Friday and Saturday night on the beach at this little resort that was kind of like where you would get yurts.
Yeah.
Instead of yurts,
right.
it was
It's
hammocks.
Okay.
So you get like little hammock things. We just sit down there, man, spend a weekend, fly your ass back. You probably end up spending like maybe $300.
I would do that almost every weekend,
maybe.
man.
And by the way, that flight was like 2 hours and 15 to 20 minutes.
It's not bad.
Because it's Air Jamaica. You could blow right over Cuba. So they didn't have that international crap where a lot of flights back then used to have to fly around Cuba.
Right.
But not this one, man. You just blew right over the top of it and got there quick, man. God, I missed that. Let's get out there, chief, for a weekend, man. We just laid a hammock and just smoked tons of weed. What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rebus. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
So my fiance now, she and I met back when I was 26 years old, and she was 24. I was delivering computers, and I stepped off an elevator, and I thought, oh, my God, this is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. And I was such a lame ass that I couldn't even barely speak. And so I delivered to her for a few weeks, but I never got her name, never nothing. So a decade later, I'm married, I've got a kid. She's been talking about this new best friend of hers that she's got, and I'm sitting there at a tot time thing where kids get together and play, and she goes, "Oh, here comes Brigitte," and this girl comes walking in. I go, "Of course this is Brigitte." She said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I had a crush on her when I was 26 years old, and my wife thought that was the funniest thing in the world, and she ended up telling her about it, and our kids went to the same preschool." And I lost touch with her after the kids were out of school. Didn't run into her again for another 10 years. And then I ended up getting divorced. And as I'm going through the divorce, she walks into a pizza parlor that I'm sitting in, and we start talking. And so by the end of the conversation, I said, "Hey, when this is all over, do you think I could ask you out on a date?" And she's like, yeah, you could do that. And I told my ex about it, and she said, "Well, why would you wait? You guys are perfect for each other." So
not the response I would get from anyone I've ever dated.
That's for damn sure.
No. So so let's see. I'm chatting with her one day on my lunch break, and I asked for her address because she lives out in Aberdeen, so she's away from me. And so she gave me her address, and I was going to just order her a pizza from her favorite pizza place and have it sent to her. And I thought, wait a second, it's Friday. I have no kids this weekend. I'm an adult. I could just drive down there. And so I ended up just taking off immediately after work, and it took me 3 hours to get there. And just as I'm pulling into Aberdeen, I saw a text message pop up on my phone, and it said, "So why did you want my address?" And I just held the button down, and it sent a screenshot saying I was 8 minutes away from her house. And her only response was, "What?" with a period. And I thought, oh, this is either the best idea or the worst idea I've ever had in my life. And we ended up, I showed up on the doorstep, and she just threw her arms around me. And so we ended up going to this pizza place. And as we were talking later on, we ended up discovering that, we grew up a quarter mile away from each other. We went to the same grade school. We rode the same bus together when she was in second grade and I was in fourth grade, and we got off at the same bus stop. When I was 17 and she was 15, we actually danced at a church thing. My sister was in her first communion class. I mean, we have been running into each other our entire lives, and we never knew about it.
Did you even remember any of that? As you guys figured this out, there were any time. So no memories, just the information.
On that first date, she was showing me some pictures, and one of them I looked at it and I went, that's my sister right there. And they were standing 2 people apart. And So then we started tracking things, and we realized, wait, we went to the same church, we went to the same grade school. You know, there was just all these ridiculous crossovers. And then when we figured out that we had danced together, you know, when we were teenagers, it just like, and neither of us remember it, you know, other than, you know, we danced with some people, but she was there at that thing, you know.
Then we did DNA and found out we're first cousins.
We have talked about that. We're both from Ireland, and, you know, she's like, hey, would that matter to you? And, you know, and both of us are like, you know what, we're past kids' age, so maybe not.
Are you still together?
Oh, yeah. We got engaged 4 years ago today.
Oh, congratulations. Nice. Very good. That's a cool story, man.
Damn, man.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Question for you. What business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious Seattle businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. And with each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
The Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing is spread like wildfire. Here's a couple locations for you. Where are we? The Shell Red Barn. Also available at Safeway, Lake Serene, and in Monroe. The Hagen in Snohomish. The Snohomish Fuel and Food. You can get gas and food. ABC Grocery, the Easy Mart, Marine View. Cypress Mini Mart, John's Handy Mart.
Yeah,
the
John.
Manhattan Express Grocer. Valley Wine and Spirits, Sky Gas. Total Wine and Tequila, Pit Stop Grocer, Lucky 3 Food Store, Lakewood Food and Gas, AM/PM Federal Way. Too much good stuff, including our beer. American Lake and Market, South Bay Market, Gravely Lake 76 Station, the Arco AM/PM in Snohomish, Carnation Farms, the Old 76. Fix Market, Grocery Outlet, Port Angeles, Waterfront Deli Market in Seattle, Up in Smoke 2, South Center Chevron, and the Mountain View Chevron. Just a few of the locations. Currently carrying the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Just look for the bright yellow can.
Speaking of Up in Smoke, great movie.
How recently did you see it?
It's been a couple years, but it was my first Cheech and Chong movie, and doggone it was hilarious.
I will be honest with you. I knew the names Cheech and Chong when I was a kid, and I knew they made R-rated movies that I could not see yet. Sure. I had a general idea of what the ride was about, but didn't care much about it one way or another. There was a Playboy issue, and it had some stills from Up in Smoke. Because to me, they were just guys that smoked grass, man.
Right.
And they had a couple of stills from the movie, and all I remember, there was a chick who I found very hot in a sailor's hat, and she had her boobs out. And I wanted to see that movie, and within 18 months, I finally got to see that movie, and I was real happy.
Mike, in my opinion, I've seen them all. They used to have the comedy albums growing up. The best one is Nice Dreams.
Yeah, and
Stacey Keach is in that one. Pee Wee
Is that when he's tied to the chair?
Yes. Hey, come on, man.
My bees itch. He just wants to be untied to scratch himself.
Pee Wee Herman's just the whole time a hamburger.
We used to listen to some of the albums. I don't think we got the jokes. But there was one where they had to take a drug test.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to pee in this cup, man. And I remember me and my buddy just thought that was the funniest
thing ever.
Now in retrospect, I don't think we had any idea what they were saying.
No, but peeing in the cup, funny.
That is a dumbass sketch about Dave. Hey, man, it's Dave.
Dave's not here, man.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
So, my very first date with my now wife, about 30-odd years ago, we went to Las Margaritas up North Seattle there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And,
I've been to that Las Margaritas.
I have been there as well,
Yeah, I love that place. But, so we had our first date. Everything was going great, but it's about 10 o'clock, and I had to leave. I worked graveyards at that point. So I had to take her home, drop her off, and then I had to go to work. So we went outside, and the car is gone. Can't figure out, what happened. I'm not parked in a tow-away spot. I'm in a valid parking spot, but can't figure it out. So looking around, walking all around the area, finally I called the police to say, obviously my car's stolen, and they said, no, it was impounded. I'm like, for what? And they said, you were parked in no parking spot. I'm like, son of a gun. Well, where can I go get it? So they gave me the place of the impound lot, which is about a half-hour walk away. We didn't have Uber at the time. So here I am with my first date, and I'm like, hey, we got to go to the impound lot. So she walked with me to the impound lot to get the car. So the problem was, it wasn't my car, it was my roommate's car. I borrowed it because I didn't own a car. So they wouldn't let me get the car. I had to get the roommate to come and get it. So I called the roommate. At that point, my roommate said, oh, that's not my car, that's my mom's car. So we had to call her mom to come to the impound lot to get the car. That was the most embarrassing. So we called the mom. The mom finally showed up. At this point, I had to go to work. So her mom ended up driving me to work and then driving my date home.
How humiliated did you feel?
I was so beyond humiliated. It was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me. And I was like, I will never get a second date, nor do I want a second date because of this. I can never look this girl in the eyes again.
I'll tell you, I did not look in my wife's eyes for a couple of months when we were dating. Hey, man. Who called who for the second date?
She actually called me and said, hey, what's going on? How come, you haven't asked me out again? And I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe you're calling. She's like, oh, don't be stupid. That was the coolest thing ever.
Nice.
I go, what do you mean? How is that cool? So her previous boyfriend, I guess, was this total, freak out jerk guy, right? Uh-huh. And she said, the fact that all this stuff happened and you never got mad, you just laughed and went, all right, well, let's just fix it. She said, that amazed me more than anything else, and that's why I want to be with you. Because if stuff hits the fan, you're the one I want to be with.
Now, all these years have passed. Cool. Is that true to your character, or were you just playing it cool because it's the first date?
True to the character. We actually get along well because she does the freak out, and I do the, that's all cool.
Yeah. So you're still together.
We balance each other out pretty well.
And it says, 30 years ago?
33.
33.
Damn. Okay.
Congratulations,
You never
man.
know how stuff's going to shake out.
You just don't.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, guys. So I was just getting with this girl, and she decides to bring me over to meet her family. So it's a small apartment where she brings me in there, and there's like 20 people in there. And so after a while, I go outside to smoke a cigarette. I don't know what's going on. I go back in. They're probably talking about me while I'm outside smoking.
Guaranteed.
I go back in. I sit down, and suddenly the conversation dies, and I start to look around. And I notice that there's a trail of poop that goes all the way from the front door to right where I was sitting. So while I was out smoking a cigarette, apparently I stepped in some mushy dog poop, and it was all tracked into the carpet. It was
Oh, man. That's tough.
What do you do at that point?
Oh man! So I got up to go clean off my shoes. You know, I'm banging them together and getting all the poop off. And then I go back in, and just as good measure, I guess, I don't even know what I was thinking, but I start wiping my shoes on the mat, and I go in, and I look back at the mat, and I realize, oh man, I just covered their mat in poop too. So, oh man, it was so embarrassing. So I picked up the mat and just threw it on in front of the neighbor's door.
Oh no!
All right. That's probably the move I would make too.
Did you get another date?
Oh yeah, I married her.
Okay, all right.
Does the family still bring up you tracking crap into their house?
Oh yeah, crap shoes. I'm crap shoes.
Crap shoes.
All right. Crap shoes.
Okay.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
That might be the worst story I've heard so far. As far as things you don't want to happen on a date. No. You can get your car towed. I mean, it sucks and all that, but there's something about the embarrassment of meeting someone's family and tracking poop into the house. Like the first time you meet a family, and I hate this, it's that the first time I met my wife's family, it's right before I moved to Seattle. They lived in Pennsylvania, so she's like, I want to introduce you to them. I'm like, fine. It's already a weird enough situation because you're not just meeting them like, I'm going to spend the night there, all this stuff. But I got to take a dump, man, and they have one of those old houses. And you're trying to fight it off as much as you can. I knew there was a bathroom upstairs, but I didn't know where it was. And like anything, it's my first time in their house. I don't want to go walking around their house. So finally, I'm just like, hey, I need to use your bathroom. Saying this to my wife. She's like, man, there's one right next to the kitchen. Now, keep in mind, in their kitchen, they have this round table, and that's where they sit and do everything. Read the newspaper, play cards, open mail. Like that is their absolute catch-all areas where the family gathers, just one of those things. But when you're at the table, the bathroom door is about 3 feet away. I mean, you can look in there, and then there's the toilet, right? And I'm like, I don't think I want to use that bathroom. So she goes, look, you don't have to, but my dad's upstairs in that bathroom. That's your option. So I'm saying, here we go. So there's nothing you can do. I'm trying to do the quietest poop that I possibly can. It's never quiet. It didn't make a ton of noise. It reeked. It's a poop. There's no fan in that bathroom. So I had to crack the window. It's winter in Pennsylvania, so the temperature drops. You know, I mean, it was like 72 in the house, and now it's like 55 degrees in there. I'm done. I wash my hands, and it's just that moment. You open the door, and as soon as you open the door, just every head of the table turns and looks at me, and I'm just like, well, I mean, you know what I was doing because I was in there for 4 minutes, man. But then the stink, it wasn't the worst, but there's just enough of the tang and the stink where it's like, I know this is bad, but her mom, being her mom, very pleasant woman, why don't we move this to the dining room? I'm like,
all right,
game on.
You didn't really call me out.
Why didn't you do that before that?
It sucked. It sucked. Now, I'll poop in there anytime. I don't care. But, man, it is a horrifying experience.
My grandparents did the same thing, right by their kitchen table. The bathroom was there. But it was one of those double doors where it would be like if you had a closet in your bedroom.
All right.
And there's slats in it, like Venetian.
Oh, one of those you kind of fold out.
Yeah, it's a folding door. But it's like one that you would open on a closet. But you could kind of, if you bent down, you could see through the slats into the place. So completely aired out on both sides, man. And my granddad would just go in there and blow it up. And no one, I mean, it was just like that was normal. You know, you'd be sitting there like, damn, granddad. Like,
come on, man.
Is there anything solid in that? What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jamie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, here's the story. It's the mid-1980s. I come home from work, and my nephew, who is the same age as I am, is sitting on my back porch. Well,
I asked him what's going on, and he says, well, I can't go in the bar, which is across the alley from us, because he made a date with 2 women for the same night at the same bar.
Is he stupid, or did he not think this out?
He did not think it out.
Okay.
Well, then it turned out that he wanted to be with this one chick instead of the other one, and I got introduced to the other one. I went home with her that night after the bar closed. I didn't make it back home for 2 weeks. And we were together for almost 13 years.
Damn,
man.
Okay.
And how did your nephew do?
You took your nephew's seconds.
He was fooling around with this other gal who was kind of a freak. And that's what he thought he wanted at the time, but...
Well, it was what he wanted at the time. I mean, look, man, if you're not trying to get into the dating world so much, and there are 2 chicks there, and one of them just seems freaky, you're going to take the freaky one.
Correct.
There's a reason why lions, badass as they are, they still go after the elderly, the young, or the injured. It's an easier mark. Yeah. So if this chick, if she's putting off that vibe, like, yeah, I'm going home with that one tonight. Come on.
What made that first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Aiden. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks, Aiden.
Heck yeah. Well, this one's actually pretty recent. I actually went up on a date on Saturday up in Seattle near Pike Place.
All right.
And, I was hanging out at this girl's work, and I rode my motorcycle, only had my helmet, and when she got off, I decided to bring us up to Seattle, so I gave her my helmet. Dude, I couldn't tell you how many cops we passed, but they never stopped us. And then we went up to Seattle. We were hanging out there it was from like 8 to 2 in the morning. And closer to the end of the night, we went to the Seattle waterfront, and we actually did the do on the waterfront.
What part of the water? Are you like in Myrtle Edwards? Or are you down by, Mariner Landing, whatever that place is?
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you the park because it was so dark, but I parked at the end of Pike Place, like way far away from the main entrance, and then we kept walking straight out to it was like a small park right off the end of Pike Place.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're at. Yeah,
I know the seafood restaurant.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to lie, like, the one thing that's like halfway between is either the stuff that makes me remember is riding her around on my bike without a helmet and not getting stopped, and then also that at that park way out in Seattle. Cause,
that's what I'd remember more.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you get a second date?
Well, you see, I'm planning on it, but I actually have my motorcycle lifted up on jack stands right now because I'm fixing it. So whenever I fix it, I'm hoping I can get a second one. I'm just trying to get it done as soon as possible so I can get back out there. And
have you talked to her and just said, hey, I would like to see you again, but just, my mode of transportation is currently getting repaired?
Oh, yes, I've actually talked to her. The best part is so I am a mobile repair guy for U-Haul up in the Seattle area. And she is actually someone that works at one of my stops way, way up in Seattle. So, yes, I have actually kept talking to her, and we've kept in contact this whole time. We haven't really planned on anything, but I can bet you money once my bike's done, we're probably going to go and do something.
All right, 2 things. Where do you live?
Oh, dude, I live out in Graham, and the crazy part about that, I dropped her off, and when I went to go home, I got onto I-5 from Burien, and my headlight and my taillight burnt out.
All right, how do you get to work every day? Do you have another car, or you think she only likes you because of the motorcycle?
Oh, actually, I got a work truck. U-Haul gave me a big truck. And
then take her out on that truck. I got to say, they're $19.95 a day. You can get a van. You can get a truck. No, you work for them. Do yourself a favor. Get on Amazon.com right now and order another helmet.
Right.
That way it'll get here in a couple days. That way, look, you can have the bike all ready to go, but don't risk that crap. Don't risk dying.
Wait.
Yeah, get another helmet for her and do that. What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Do it in the back of the work truck.
Yeah, get a van.
Hello, Levi. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, beaches.
Hola.
So I'm Polly, and I end up going on quite a few first dates. But this one date was really memorable because someone else put in all the work. I've been talking to this chick for, I don't know, a week or something like that, and we've been trying to set up a date. And Friday night comes around, I'm at home, she's on a date with somebody, and date gets over. She messages me, she's like, hey, somebody else bought me dinner. Somebody else chatted me up. He did not want to go home with me. What are you doing? I'm just hanging out. Why don't you want to come over? And she's like, yes, I do. That was the whole date.
All right. He bought the dinner, plied her with drinks, and you get to do the good stuff.
I know, right? It worked out awesome.
You know, man, I would
For
say,
you.
Hey, look, man, there's certain things where it's like, haven't been married for a while. You'd love to have that operation, right? Where it's like Ted, my wife wanted to go to, who was in Vegas? Boys to Men. Boys to Men. I didn't want to go. We ended up not doing it because we had to put our money elsewhere. But I even told her, I said, Ted would like to go to that show. And I know you just want to go to that show. And I don't want to go to that show. And I'd be fine if you and Ted went to the show. Now, she would not accept that because it was an anniversary thing.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, like if they were here in Seattle.
I was just saying it was in Vegas.
I'd be like, look, you can go with Ted. Ted's more than happy to go. He can put in the work, so to speak. You got grab drinks, man, get dinner, pregame, do all the stuff, and then come home and we'll have sex. Like, you'd like rent a date. You don't know, hey, we're not going to sleep with your woman, but we understand she wants to go to a restaurant you don't like, something, and get like goat cheese and artichokes, and you're just not down for that. But one of us, we will gladly go through. We'll have to keep her company.
Goat cheese and artichokes.
Yeah,
that's what girls' night kind of is, too.
Right.
Right? Like, go out with your friends, do it all the stuff I want to do, drink your wine, come home.
Right. You know what? You're exactly right.
What made the first date memorable? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jeremy. Welcome to the men's room.
How you doing, fellas?
Hola.
So going about 20 years back, a buddy of mine that I worked with, he and his wife set me up with one of her coworkers, and we exchanged numbers. We texted, chatted for a while, exchanged pictures. She was attractive, funny, smart, all the good stuff. And we had planned on going to dinner, double date, to a restaurant in one of the casinos back in Connecticut. And we all get there, we sat down for dinner and stuff, and she's sitting across from me. And she connected to with her mouth closed. It was like completely obnoxious. Kind of like Sandra Bullock in the first half of Just Congeniality, which, she's even a mistake. And she got up to go to the bathroom. I got up, pulled her chair out like a gentleman. I waited until she was out of my sight. I gave my buddy $100 and I bailed.
Damn, man.
That is a memorable first date.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Oh, boy.
I'm out.
Yeah. Who Sucks Last is coming up as we head to the not-so-friendly skies. Anyway, get your emails on the way next in the men's room at KISW.com.
Question for you. What business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious Seattle businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. And with each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, and welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Oh, my schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
Maybe it's time to embrace the joy of staying in. With comfortable beds, pillow and decor, mood lighting, and so much more, you can turn your bedroom into the place to be.
Oh, sounds like a dream.
We've got you. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create your dream bedroom today.
It's Kia of Puyallup's 29th anniversary savings event. It's the best time of the year to save on the Ready for Adventure 2024 Kia Sportage or the best-selling Kia Telluride. Plus, every new Kia from Kia of Puyallup is backed by their lifetime powertrain warranty and oil changes for life as long as you own the car. Don't miss the Kia of Puyallup 29th anniversary savings event, only at Kia of Puyallup, Highway 167 and Valley Avenue Northeast. Kia of Puyallup since 1995.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for Seattle businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house and owning it. Having an advocate who can help you navigate negotiations, timelines, inspections, and more can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All right, Who Sucks Less coming up. But first time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got
Jesus, I don't know what happened 9 months ago, but man, oh man. A lot of these, by the way, are going to be edited because we've got so many emails on birthdays today, so let's get to it. Pacholas, our son Bennett, was born at 646. Please wish him a very happy birthday. His big brother requested a Dino Roar. Can we also get a little kid fish sandwich? And Coach Ted explaining how great it will be growing up where it's always baseball and sundress weather down here in sunny Arizona. Lots of love, guys. That from Mom, Dad, Hunter, and Okie.
Fish sandwich!
A Dino Roar?
I'm extinct.
All right, your dad's right. Just got into this world. Your eyes probably aren't even open yet. But when they are bright and open, you're in sunny Arizona. Baseball all the time. You can go to baseball parks. It's air conditioned at your baseball park. And look, I don't know. You're way too young now, but yeah, you'll like sundresses. You'll also like workout shorts and sports bras. Hang out in Tempe.
Oh, Michelle, I just want to wish my son, Jagger Hunter, a happy 18th birthday. Can I get the dirty German speaking of the importance of wrapping that rascal and becoming a man? Thanks, guys. And from our buddy Mike, the official captain of the Men's Room fishing team.
Yeah, Mike there makes a very fine point. Certainly wraps the rascal. There's nothing wrong with being a man, but be a man for as many years as you can be before you become a father.
Yeah, he's not wrong, sir.
Yeah.
It's the quickest, smartest investment you'll make lately.
Yeah, truly.
Guys, it's Earl's 24th birthday today. I'd like to start his day off right with a big fat bong rip and you guys talking all over each other about day drinking. As always, thanks for being awesome. That from Ezra. Well, if you're going to day drink, grab yourself a delicious True My Fire from Black Raven Brewing. A complete list of applications.
I would just say, just plan on being done by 7 or 8 because you're not going out.
I want to give my brother Chayton a birthday shout-out. He is 25 years old today. How about a fish sandwich and a big old bong rip? Thanks, guys. That's from Cole.
2 Oregon fish sandwich.
Liquor and Whores, want to give a birthday shout out to my best friend Victor, a.k.a. Slim Vic. I hope you have a great one, bud. How about your penis is too small and Coach Ted giving him advice on turning 25? That from CJ in Bellingham.
All right, 25. Nice age, right there in the mid-20s. You could still be a crazy maniac and get away with it, but also you can look at your younger friends at 21 and be like, you guys are children. Second of all, what's it, Slim Vic? Careful, Slim Vic. 30's around the corner.
Pachols
wishing might just become Vic.
Right. Wishing the happiest birthday to my sweet pea, Andrea, the big 2-9, last step before the 3rd floor. How about the dirty Germans telling her how excited I am for her to not know what to do with her hands tonight? And Miles with some fatherly advice. How about some dad jokes in her last year in her 20s? I'll rock on, guys. That from Dan, the semi-friendly Fremont mechanic.
Yeah, I get the feeling you will know exactly what to do with your hands today. Grab your pepper spray and spray him in the face. He sounds aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lots of things you can do without your hands.
Yeah.
It's hand-free.
Yeah, hands-free device.
What is a chicken's favorite musician? What is a chicken's favorite musician?
Chick Corea.
A drumstick.
Bach. What is a bee's favorite singer? What is a bee's favorite singer? Sting. All right. And guys, I have a pet termite. I named him Clint. Clint Eatwood. Want to give a birthday shout out to my boyfriend Ning, a.k.a. Crazy Cat. I want to give him all the fart sounds and a fish sandwich medley. Thanks, guys. That from Brian, a.k.a. Silly Pants. Cholo's self-submitted birthday request. Couldn't ask for a better date since it now falls on Oil Day every year. I don't know what that is.
What is Oil Day?
I'm not sure.
Today.
How about the dirty Germans talking about the 1 pound of thick cooked bacon? Cut bacon I'm bringing home tonight for my wife. And Miles with a few dad jokes. Cheers, guys. That from Cameron Bacon.
Yeah, here's what you don't know. We already supplied your wife with, well, uncooked bacon earlier.
Yeah, you know, she likes it that way. Also, she likes it a little spicy. We had also some peppered bacon.
Yeah, she kept calling me pork belly.
Yeah. And that's not ketchup.
Ted, my bodybuilder friend died and left me all of his protein.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Way.
I cooked my friend dinner but forgot to invite him. It was a missed steak. And Steve, for you. Orion's belt is a big waste of space. Not the best joke. 3 stars.
I like it even more now.
Oh, I got a little finish
well
up there.
Done. Well done.
I want to wish my brother Chris a very happy birthday. He has the unfortunate circumstance of living in tropical Sioux Falls, South Dakota. How about a G's Louise and a traffic jam Jimmy Fish sandwich? Happy birthday, nerd. Thanks, gang. That from Adam.
Jeez Louise. 2 Oregon fish sandwich.
Guys, my crazy redhead Nancy is having a birthday. Was hoping for a shout out with the captain, saying something about wild redheads. And let's see, Miles with some dad jokes. Have a great day. That's from Tom, guys.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Actually, my 2 favorite redheads are Wendy from Wendy's and everyone's favorite 47-year-old chain-smoking dwarf, Little Debbie. Now, Little Debbie, if you notice, never shows her teeth when she smiles, and there's a good reason for that. The 7 teeth that she still has left are brown as a direct result of eating her own products, but that toothless mouth of inflamed gums comes in handy for what we call the worry-free mouth hug. And as for Wendy, well, she created a game most mascots love to play. It's called Where's the Beef? We all yell, where's the beef? And she lifts her skirt. And that's when we discovered that her carpet does, in fact, match the drapes. First time she did it, we thought she had Pennywise and a leg lock. But she grooms regularly now, so now it's more like Woody Woodpecker's mohawk. Crunch berries.
Ted, you got this one. What does a Chick-fil-A worker and the Dallas Cowboys have in common?
They're not open on Sundays?
Neither show up.
Neither show up on Sundays?
What do you call a man with his tool in a woman's mouth? What? A dentist.
All right, yeah. Perverts.
And guys, I'm going to compete in a marathon dressed as Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, not quite sure what race yet, but I'm going to. Wow, look out. I'm a runner. Oh, gentlemen, today's my 34th birthday. As another trip around the sun commences, let's kick it off with a hippo fart. The order has been disturbed, and the dirty Germans trashing the Oregon Ducks football team. Been listening since the Buzz days. All the best, go Dogs. That from Alex.
The order's been disturbed.
Yeah, what do we have to say about the Oregon Ducks? I mean, they could try to beat us once, but apparently that just wasn't in the plans last year. Although Bo Nix is a pretty good freaking quarterback.
Yeah, it's the funny thing about the Ducks. It's like sometimes when you drink too much and you make the love, you get close, but you never finish. You never win anything.
Yeah.
Guys, today's my father John Jr.'s birthday. I would love it if you guys could grumble about not remembering his age. Well, to be honest with you, I've never met John Jr., so I don't know.
How would you know his age? You didn't even tell us his age.
You should know that.
Am I supposed to be upset with myself? I don't know it.
Gentlemen, want to wish my beautiful wife, Leah, a very happy 40th amazing wife and mom, and she is my rainbow queen. Could have the dirty Germans tell her about what they're going to do to her after her stuffed crust pizza dinner. Thanks, guys. That from Justin.
Yeah, oddly enough, after you finish your stuffed crust pizza, we plan on stuffing your crust pie.
Yeah, and a lot like the stuffed crust pizza. This time we can eat it from the back end first.
Yeah.
Reverse it, Mike.
Yeah. Gentlemen, long-time listener. Today, my beautiful wife, Jennifer, is turning 44. Can we get your penis is too small? And the dirty Germans wishing her a very happy birthday. Thanks from her loving husband, Mark.
Yeah, first of all, happy birthday, of course. I've made a special meal for you tonight. We call it African Schnitzel.
So, well, that's also the Germans, but, you know, sex schnitzel is well done.
Yeah, it is.
Some would say it's burnt.
It is hot.
Guys, it's my husband, Alex, 46, trip around the sun today. He's stuck sailing on a cargo ship somewhere between Anchorage and Tacoma. He listens to your show religiously. Please give him a fish sandwich and maybe coach Ted with a little pep talk about living his best life at sea for the next 2 months. Thanks, guys. That from Candy.
I'll have a fish sandwich.
All right, you're out at sea for 2 months. First of all, you're already out there, so I don't know what I can tell you, but I hope you downloaded some movies. I don't know how the Wi-Fi is when you're on a merchant ship. Second of all, good news is, man, whatever happens while you're out there, just remember, 2 months, you'll come back, you'll park that boat, you'll have sex with your wife, and then boom, you'll be watching football. Go Hawks.
All right, all of you, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks last?
Hey, time for Who Sucks Last. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of these 3 stories, which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yeah, like we said, this is about bad behavior in the sky. And if you listen to this fine program, you may have heard these first 2 stories presented to us by our very own Mike Hawk during his headline segment toward the end of the show. But let's just get started. We have an elderly evangelical pastor. He's now facing federal charges for allegedly assaulting his wife on a plane. Why? Because she got upgraded to first class, and he didn't. So the attack occurred aboard an Alaska Airlines flight 275, from Seattle to Anchorage. This after Roger Holmberg Sr. verbally abused his spouse and flipped her the bird in front of a cabin full of travelers. You see, the couple were traveling to Alaska from their home in Virginia for a meeting related to their ministry. Now, according to the complaint, a passenger who was sitting in first class next to Holmberg's wife said things began to go south shortly after the 3.5-hour flight got underway. Now, in the first of 3 separate incidents, all right, so she's already moved to first class, and he has to visit her 3 separate times to show how angry he is about it. So in the first incident, Holmberg, who's flying coach, he confronted his wife at her seat. Quote, "How the hell did you get the upgrade?" he demanded of her. "I'm a Gold Point member." That's according to his wife. "That's how I got the upgrade. Don't speak to me like that," is what she says. And he walks away. But he comes back. So during the second interaction, Holmberg walked up to his wife and handed her his phone and told her to read what was on the screen. Then gave her the finger. All right. When Holmberg went back for a third confrontation, he pushed in front of his wife's seatmate and attempted to swing his arms toward his wife. Now, the seatmate leaned forward to block the attempted strike, but Holmberg still appeared to strike the victim on the top of the head with his hands. Now, an off-duty police officer was sitting one row in front of Holmberg's wife. He noticed the disturbance between her and the man, and he heard Holmberg's wife tell him, "You cannot be doing that." Well, the officer soon came to realize that Holmberg had struck his wife in the head, after which he headed for the first-class bathroom. Now, it says that when Holmberg emerged from the bathroom, the cop told Holmberg, quote, "If there were any further incidents, we would put him in handcuffs." And at that point, he finally stopped his disruptions. But an FBI special agent, along with the Anchorage Airport Police, they met the plane when it landed, and he was escorted away. Here's the thing. His wife, they say she was not noticeably bruised or bleeding, but she told authorities that her husband had a history of abusing her and recounted the story about him having broken her finger last September. She said that Holmberg struck her in the head with the back of his knuckles aboard the plane, adding that he knew that she had epilepsy and the contact in the head could cause a seizure. So she's like, "Look, man, aside verbally abusing me and then actually hitting me, he knows I have epilepsy."
How does he not know she's a gold member? Sorry.
I don't know.
Like, you're married.
I don't know. I don't know. But that's how she got the upgrade. He did not. He's that mad about it. And he's a minister.
I hope that she got off that plane and booked herself a flight home.
I hope she did, too.
I hope she did not go anywhere where he was, did not hang out for whatever they were doing, and just basically went home, packed her crap up, and got out of there.
I hope so. So now we go over to, Hong Kong, all right? There's a budget airline called HK Express. This was also on Headlines with Mike yesterday. Well, HK Express Airlines, they have now apologized after two blind passengers alleged that its crew removed them from the flight, citing safety concerns, and an ordeal that left them feeling, quote, insulted and embarrassed. So the passengers, Andy Chu and John Lee, they were booked for an afternoon flight from Hong Kong, where both of them live, to Tokyo. And they said they had notified the airline about their disability. Now, the duo said they went through the check-in without any issues, and they were escorted to the boarding gate as usual. On board, crew members briefed them about in-flight safety procedures, but later removed them from the plane over, quote-unquote, safety concerns after learning that they were traveling unaccompanied. Quote, "We felt insulted and embarrassed. They were treating us as if we were criminals." Now, the Blind Union, that's actually a union for the Blind Union President Billy Wong, who is authorized to speak on behalf of these two, he said the handling of the situation left the passengers confounded because they've been able to travel alone without issues on other airlines. Wong also called on the airline to investigate its protocols and treatments of travelers with disabilities, saying the guidelines from aviation authorities were, quote, toothless. Meanwhile, HK Express, they said in a statement, due to differing judgments made by the ground staff and the air crew, the case was escalated to management for assessment, blah, 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 blah. They do say that the staff followed the airline's standard safety procedure during the incident. So they're escorted off the plane, but according to the airline, they're like, we just don't fly unaccompanied blind people. Who knew? Yeah. And finally, we have this. This one irritates me because everyone hates a flight that gets diverted or delayed. So you'll hear about a fight between two passengers on a plane. Unfortunately, that's not that unusual. But this one involves a fight between two families with multiple participants. So the chaos began soon after a Ryanair flight took off from Morocco en route to London. Now, based on passenger accounts, it seems that a man in his 20s, he asked a woman seated with her daughter if she would switch seats so he could be next to his family. Well, she refused, tempers flared, and then the next thing you know, flight attendants had what they described as a massive brawl in their hands between their respective families. Quote, then a lady in the row behind me started having a panic attack because of everything going on. She was screaming. There were kids crying. It was like a snowball effect. Meanwhile, the pilots, they had to make an emergency landing in Marrakesh only 36 minutes after takeoff. Police took 9 people off the plane. All of them got involved, families. Now, here's the problem. They had to sort through the mess. Well, that cost precious time. It took almost 2 hours in total to treat and offload the disruptive passengers, during which time the rest of the passengers had to remain on board. Then the crew reached their permitted flying hours and caused the flight to be delayed overnight. The 200 passengers took off again the next morning. So those are your three stories, all right?
Ooh.
So we have the minister that basically is abusing his wife sitting in first class because she got an upgrade. He did not, and he's physically abusing her. 75-year-old minister. Come on, man. We have the budget HK airline, and look, it's their protocol, according to them, but they allowed these two blind passengers on the plane and then booted them off because they were unaccompanied. I don't know how they didn't figure that out. And finally, the fight between the families on the plane, again, which is not unusual, but you end up delaying the flight, and then because of the flight hours that the pilots can have, you ended up delaying this flight until the next morning for everyone else. You want to sit next to your damn family. Ooh. I already know my thoughts.
All right. So the 75-year-old minister, he sucks the most.
I would agree.
All right. It was an inconvenience for the two blind men, and that's horrible that happened to them. But the flight from Morocco to London, there's 200 people on that plane that had to spend the night somewhere and not get to their destination. And the other side of it, there were two people that did not make their destination at that point in time. That sucked, what they did to those two guys. However, based on the number game we're playing here, the fact that two people didn't make their destination or 200, because they rebooked. The two blind guys did rebook a different airline.
Well, they had to, sure.
I'm going to say that the two blind guys removed from the airplane for absolutely no reason in this instance against the other two stories sucks the least.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the conundrum of
I'm
this
gonna
game.
agree. Yeah, see, I think it's harder to figure out who sucks the most. Like, that guy is a complete a-hole.
The minister guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, those two families who got into the brawl, like you just said, that's 200 people who have to stay in a city they weren't planning on.
And who knows what day you could have been going to a funeral, you could have been going to a wedding, you could have been going to a job interview. You don't know other people's business.
Correct. And so I almost think that might suck the most just because of the sheer number
of people who are affected.
Right. Yeah.
And the pilots couldn't fly because their time limit had run out. Because
Right, so they
get your
can't go back
dumbass off the plane, right?
Right, and they had to stop somewhere in between, and who knows? You might have had people on vacation. Like, I assume they would have given them a hotel voucher, right? But still, I'm just like,
I don't know. I've been in that situation. They did not give me a hotel voucher. Different airline, obviously, but it's like you've
That's
got
not a
to
long
be kidding me.
flight.
What's that? Morocco to London?
Morocco to London. That's probably 2 hours?
At least two. Right, everything's kind of close together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like when you think about the proximity there.
But think about that. Now you got to wait overnight.
hey, you never know.
Right.
I was
and what if you have
it's a little over an hour from Northern Virginia to Boston. I spent the night in Warwick, Rhode Island, because we never made it to Boston, to Logan. We stopped in Providence. So, like, it can happen. Yeah. Trust me. It's happened to your boy.
If I have a connecting flight, like, it doesn't mean I'm going to London. I might have a flight that then takes me to New York. I'm trying to get back to Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Now that's gone because I missed my opportunity. I got, like, come on, man.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. All right, guys, shot of the day's coming up in minutes. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for Seattle businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Looking for a great deal on a John Deere compact tractor? Don't miss this special offer. Right now, Pape Machinery is offering 0% financing for 84 months on select John Deere compact utility tractors. Pick up a premium John Deere machine and start transforming your property today. Stop by Pape Machinery Ag and Turf at 830 Evergreen Street in Linden to get started. Financing offer valid through July 31st. On approved credit only. Eligible models include 1 Series, 2 Series, and 3 E-Series tractors. See dealer for details.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, Dakota minutes. We'll drink your toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. Good news for Pennsylvania. The market chain Sheetz. They announced that they're going to now deliver beer to your home.
Wow.
I like it.
I know you're not working on it, but will they also deliver some of their food?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
It can't just be beer. Like, hey, as long as you run a beer out to my place, you mind stacking a sandwich or two?
Yeah, right? Like, yeah, I'll take a, something on a pretzel bun.
Hell yeah. Can we loosen some liquor laws around here? I would really like to be able to walk around, just go for a walk with a beer and not have to look over my shoulder.
Oh, no, I saw a guy doing it right out front earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, not an issue. Steel Reserve.
Oh, classy,
yes,
gentlemen.
he was.
Classy.
Yeah, but if Mike and I do it, they'll stop us.
Yeah, it's a fact.
That's right. Dress worse and drink crap.
Right.
They won't say a word.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, seriously.
Walking out of a doggone concert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pour that out, man.
Right.
Shut up.
It's like, yeah, sorry. Jesus, dude. Didn't realize it was holding still.
Yeah. It's because, yeah.
Okay. It is kind of, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, yeah. It's the States.
It is.
Right? Like, when you go to Europe and stuff, like they know you'll bring the glass back, but, like, you could stand outside the pub on the sidewalk. Like, when we left
absolutely.
the stadium, we had plastic cups, and they're like, you don't have to chug them, just, go on your way. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, they thought it was weird. I went out to smoke, and their security guards, I mean, they look serious, right?
All right.
I'm like, hey, man, can I get back in if I smoke? And he's like, yeah.
Hey, basically, like, just don't smoke at the seats.
Yeah, you don't have to come back in, but if you want to, yes. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, man.
Cool.
Yeah, when I was at F1, right, like in our section, it was a ton of Europeans, and it was funny. I guess there was a smoking section, but like they didn't care.
If it's Europe, everything's a smoking section.
Yeah, nobody really said anything to him, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't know, you're outdoors. Like, I don't care.
Right? Come on. Specialists say there are benefits to couples sleeping separately.
There sure are.
Yeah, called sleep.
I've been doing it the last 2 nights because the wife said it was too hot upstairs. Slept in the basement, man. I sprawled out on that bed. It is unbelievable.
I'm diagonal all the time now.
That's the first time I did it.
It's awesome.
Like, oh my God, there's a lot of room.
Your arms and legs are still on the bed.
And I didn't have to turn up the TV because she wasn't asleep snoring.
Right.
And I'm not even kidding. I was telling Miles, I was like, normally I got to turn the TV up to a certain level. So I'm up there and I'm like, I just didn't understand why I could hear it so clearly in spite of it being lower. Then I'm like, there's no one snoring.
I've pretty much taken up residence on the couch just because, one, I'm fine on the couch. It's not like it's uncomfortable. It's not like I feel like a beaten dog sitting out there.
Right.
But I like to watch TV. I like to watch cartoons to go to sleep to. She hates them. Can't stand the voices. It drives her absolutely freaking nuts. And so I feel bad sleeping in bed with that TV on. And
right.
Screw it. I will go out to the couch. I will sleep throughout the night. We'll both be happy as clams. It's fantastic.
I love living alone. I'm like, hell no. Never again.
Never again.
I love it.
I mean, yeah, I'm with Miles. You said I certainly like cuddling, but the sleeping part can be tough.
Ooh, yeah. It gets hot.
Right. I already run hot and
right.
I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but just like you
You could take the whole comforter. I just need this one blanket.
Right.
And now that we've rolled away, please leave me alone.
Exactly. There does come a point with the cuddling where it's like, okay, that was fun. Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Same with holding hands when you're sticking hands together because they're sweaty. Like, do we really need to act like we're together now? My hands are all, your palms are sweaty.
Look, I run way too hot. If it's not sub 65, I can't hold a hand.
Yeah. Scientists have discovered a cause of lupus and a possible way to reverse it.
Oh, what is it?
It has something to do. Shoot, I actually read what it was, but it was something on the molecular level. And if they just reversed that, they would actually reverse the disease as far as that particular cause.
Now, there's something similar out there right now as far as cancer for cancer.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, basically, cancer will attack other cancer. And some, I guess, didn't...
Some protein or something
They eliminate each other or something.
Right, it stops attacking you and starts attacking
the other cancer.
There it is. It's they've discovered a molecular defect that promotes the pathologic immune response in systemic lupus, and a study said that reversing that would potentially reverse the disease.
Huh. Good news then.
So there you go. Yeah, it is fantastic news. It's good news I'm not working on because I don't have lupus, but hey.
I know, it's different.
Take that with how you will. Miles, what day is it?
National Oil Day from one of our listeners.
Yes, it is also National Kitten Day, and there's also a bunch of great
National Kitten Day?
Yeah, baby.
All right.
I like a kitten. Love a kitten.
There's a whole lot of fun facts about our feline friends.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 fascinating facts about felines on National Kitten Day.
Yeah.
The 16th president of these here United States, Abraham Lincoln, crazy cat lady. He had 4 at the White House. And how about this? When your cat sticks his ass in your face, it's being done as a gesture of friendship. Or he knows your nickname. A.E. Dave.
There you go. Some fun facts about cats here. Did you guys know that 200 feral cats prowl the park at Disneyland?
I did not know.
Take care of mice and rats and
That's
whatever.
exactly right.
Lizards, I guess.
Right.
Did they ever attack Mickey?
I'm about to say, no, Mickey's the gangster.
Right.
Who just has befriended the cats. Like, just take care of these ones out here. Leave me be. This is my castle.
They put them in there on purpose?
Mm-hmm. Or at least, I suppose they just let them run around in there on purpose. But I feel like ballparks do that too. Like T-Mobile, there's been cases where cats have just run out on the field because
there's something out there to...
Exactly.
Well, they speculate the cats first got domesticated, not because we did anything... Not that we did anything to change their behavior, but when we started agriculture and people would store grain... Mm-hmm. Rats showed up to eat your grain, and then the cats showed up to eat the rats, and people and cats figured out neither of us like rats. You're protecting my food, so you keep them around.
And they were actually brought over to this country for that very reason.
Yeah.
They figured that out over in Europe. They're like, hey, make sure that you bring cats over here.
The ton at Buckingham Palace.
I believe it.
They let them go just to get rid of the mice and
that place is so freaking big, you can't possibly keep up with that. Let the cats go, man.
One guy named Larry's like the king of the cat world there.
King Larry.
Yeah.
I love it. Cats in the same litter can have more than one father. It's because the female cat releases multiple eggs over the course of a few days in which when she's in heat.
I'll be damned.
That's weird.
She's
that would
getting it up.
I mean, considering the differences between the breeds.
Yeah.
That would, you could have a Maine Coon and then have a hairless cat.
Right.
Same litter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your brother.
Long hair, no hair.
Did you guys know that cats have a feature much like the human fingerprint that they're all unique?
Is it their nose print or
It
something?
is their nose print. That's exactly right.
But not their paws.
No, those little toe beans, man. There's a lot of similarities there, but no, not the nose.
I need to look at my cat's nose.
I thought I heard that our fingertips aren't as unique as we think they are.
I like to believe we are.
They're very unique, but not.
He's got a story coming up in
impossible.
headlines that'll squash that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right, that's the point, right? Like they're not. It's a low percentage, but they're not exactly unique.
Right. Cats have contributed to the extinction of 33 different species.
I've heard that it's mostly like birds, isn't it?
Probably. I didn't look into that.
I've heard like cats. I want to say it's like a bunch of birds, a few different small lizards. Mm-hmm. But then things like mice manage to stick around just because they have so many babies and they're so prolific.
As far as cats who made history, there's some fun facts about cats. Does anybody remember the name of Bill Clinton's cat?
Was it
mittens.
socks?
It was socks.
Did it begin with a P?
Oh. Apparently, he was a media darling during the Clinton administration, was said to receive more letters than the president himself.
And he can't even read. Why do people keep sending me this?
Maria Assunta left her cat Tommaso her entire $13 million fortune when she passed back in 2011. I don't know if you guys remember that story.
Now, how does that work, right? Obviously, you have to have an executor of some kind.
Right.
Because the cat's not making decisions about what it wants. It wants a rubber ball, a flashlight, something to eat, and a place to sleep.
Right? Do you give the cat like $13 million in cash? Do you give it a cashier's check? How can the cat cash said check?
Okay. Where does it go after that? Like, how's the cat going to tell you who's in its cat will?
Right.
And there's a caregiver. So that it's already established. Basically, it's just the person who looks over the house and takes care of the cat.
So just give it to the doggone person.
Nope. They just get to live in that super expensive house with the cat.
Yeah.
But it's not your money.
Hey. Damn it. Facts about quirky cat behaviors. These are some fun facts about cats. For some reason, cats actually really dislike citrus scents.
Really?
Yeah. That's why, when you're...
Well, the cat tastes sweet, right?
That is a fact. That was another one that I had.
So maybe they just smelled the citrus, the super sour of it?
Probably. Yeah.
That's my guess.
I do like when I'm cooking in the kitchen and I'm cutting onions and then my cat just starts to blink and tear up a little bit. He's a jerk, man, so I don't care.
Yeah, right?
He shouldn't be there in the first place.
Hey, get over here, dude. I'm cutting up onions.
Red onions. Get close.
You ever give that crazy bastard any nip?
Oh, yeah. All right. Loves it. Loves it.
Little junkie cat.
Then he goes nuts. That's the problem. He gets a little aggressive.
Yeah, I watched the whole video today. Maybe it's because it's National Kitten Day of cats on nip.
Really?
And like some of them just keep pawing at it and eating it and they're going bananas. And then other ones look like heroin junkies, just like, Argh.
Well, and there's a difference between smelling it and then ingesting it. So some people will make like a catnip tea and that'll chill their cats out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, other times, like they're snorting cocaine, they're like, all right! Certain cats go crazy for foods that you wouldn't expect, like olives, potato chips, and even the hops in beer. Which is why my cat loves Menzer IPA from Black Raven Brewing Company.
Hey, Mike, where's the bright yellow can?
That's right.
Olives, huh?
I mean, that sounds like a lot of dudes I know. They like olives, chips, and beer?
Yeah, I mean, you want to watch football?
Right. You're just right. Like, come on.
Let's have more bar cats.
Bar cat.
Just laying there on the table like, yo, hook me up with another round.
That's the way you could make better friends with your cat, Mike. Let's give him a chip with some tapenade and a beer.
Here you go, Linus. Enjoy that, little buddy. Cats have up to 100 different vocalizations, whereas dogs only have 10. And,
Really?
yeah, they may... let's see here. They have a unique vocabulary with their owner. Each cat has a different set of vocalizations, purrs, and behaviors.
Well, typically you can't really talk to your dog. They look at you like they understand what you're saying, and they do know, based on your tone, what you kind of mean. With a cat, like my cat, Larry, like, Larry, what you doing? Yeah. Did you have a good day? You want to eat? Like they will engage.
That's right.
That lonely lifestyle, you know.
Known to be picky, cats will refuse an unpalatable food to the point of starvation.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not eating any of that.
Well, if you're trying to get rid of your cat, you just got a leg up.
But as far as foods go, despite popular belief, many cats are actually lactose intolerant.
Really?
Yep. Huh. My cat loves almond milk.
Ooh. Well, that's good because that's not going to affect that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I've never known anyone who's pulled a milk for their cat. That used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
I've never
done it, but I feel like when I was growing up, that was every TV show, every cartoon, whatever.
I feel like that was for the stray cat, though. That just showed up. You give him a bowl of milk.
A little saucer of milk. Yeah.
Sweetened or unsweetened almond milk for that cat?
Unsweetened. We don't do sweetened almond milk in our house. Yeah.
The cat demands. I don't want the sweetened.
I'll need that sugar, dude.
Cats have the largest eyes relative to their head size of any mammal. That makes sense.
And I'm just going through my Rolodex now. Yeah.
Did you say that cats can see things better as far as what they see and perceive? It's why they're cat-like reflexes.
Well, they basically broke down the study, and it was cats, dogs, dragonflies, which have basically the fastest reflexes you've ever seen, but they were explaining...
They see life in like a higher frames per second.
Higher frames per second. So, like, if you jump toward a cat, the way the cat perceives you, it's almost like a strobe light effect.
Right.
It sees every movement you're making real jittery, and that's what they know if to go left, right, to swat you in the face, get out of the way. But remember, that applies to big cats, too. Oh, yeah. So like when you're at the zoo, no matter what you're, like when that lion's looking at you, you look real slow, tasty, and easy.
Which brings us to our number one fun cat fact on this here National Kitten Day. A house cat's genome is 95.6%. What big cat?
Tiger,
absolutely.
Yep. They move exactly the same.
Isn't that the old saying? Like, if it was bigger, it would eat you.
That's kill a fact.
And it
no
even
question.
Says they share many behaviors with their jungle ancestors, including scent marking by scratching, prey stalking, pouncing, chinning, and urine marking. Chinning. It's basically it's when they rub their paws on something. Yeah, enjoy that. So there you go. Some National Cat Day facts. A car dealership in Connecticut is in some deep water for what happened to a customer's near $100,000 Camaro. Miles.
Wow, what happened to the car?
I'll sadly tell you at 5:50.
All right, headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Question for you. What business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious Seattle businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. And with each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
Question for you. What business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious Seattle businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. And with each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, and quite another navigating the world of negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. Guidance from an agent who's a Realtor can make all the difference, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Big time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast Mr. Matthew Pancake. Yes, Pancake, that is his last name. He is not a mascot for anybody. Living somewhere in Ohio, all right? So Matthew was arrested after a series of break-ins early yesterday morning. He broke into a famous footwear store, then a restaurant called Roosters, where he was seen on camera wearing leopard print pajamas. Way to be subtle, buddy. But then he kept the animal theme going by breaking into a pet store called Petland. And a bunch of animals were set free, presumably intentionally. Police, they were able to recover 2 dogs, multiple birds, a hamster, and at least 2 bunnies. But as I say, they're still looking for more bunnies, birds, and, of course, a ferret. Don't look too hard for the ferret. Just let it go be Weasley. But the thing is, police finally tracked Matthew down. It helped that he's wearing leopard print pajamas. But they found him in the parking lot of Big Lots. They asked him if he had done any of the robberies. Of course, he denied it. But then the cops found 4 hamsters in his pants.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. At that point, they were pretty sure they had their man. He was arrested and charged with all types of crimes.
What if they used his, they like wheels, right? Hamsters?
Oh, yeah, a little hamster wheel.
I wonder if they used some of his parts, like a little, like a speed bag.
That's why I put him in there. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep up that rhythm.
So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the Men's Room. Hello, Brian.
Brian
here. How y'all doing?
Doing great, man.
What's up, dude?
Welcome to the show. All right, Brian, you understand how this here game is played?
That I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 stories. Today we offer you interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. Hit me with your best shots, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, animalize this, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
I think we got to do interior decorating.
All right, Brian. Mike just reviewed all these things about cats. It is National Kitten Day, so you picked appropriately because today's interior decorating, it involves 6-year-old Leo the cat, who had to be taken to the vet as his owner became concerned that his eyes and nose were oozing after sneezing bouts. The vets were stunned when they discovered the severe sneezing was actually being caused by an object that had become lodged in the pet's nose. His owner, Josh, said, poor Leo, he'd been sneezing continuously for 2 weeks, causing him discomfort and led to an infection. A veterinary intern, Valentina Silic, she had to sedate Leo and use forceps to gently pull the object from the nasal passage. She said, quote, we had a, CAT scan and an endoscope, which is a long, flexible camera, to fully see what was going on, as the left nasal cavity had thick mucus in it, and there was also soft tissue swelling. When we found what it was, we used special forceps to remove it, and I'm happy to say that Leo recovered well and is enjoying extra treats at home. Here's the thing. It's not the first time that Leo has suffered the exact same medical plight, as he got the same thing stuck up his nose 2 years ago. Whoa. Luckily, that time it dislodged by itself, and it was removed by hand. The question is, what did Leo get stuck in his nose for a second time? Was it a cricket? Was it a grass blade? Was it a bee stinger, or was it a pebble? So cricket, grass, bee stinger, or pebble. What does Leo keep getting stuck in his nose? I was going to add cocaine, but it seemed obvious.
Does it say what state they were in? Or
you know what? It does not. No, I do not know where it happened.
Does not. I think I know what I'm going to say, but I got to get your all opinion too.
All right, Brian, I'm going to go grass blade.
Grass blade, okay. I'm going to say you said a cricket. Is that what you said?
That was the first option, yes.
And it was stuck in his nose?
It was stuck in the cat's nose for 2 weeks.
I'm going to say a cricket because by the sounds of it, if it came out quick the first time, might be the second time as well. I'm going cricket.
Okay.
I think it's a bee stinger. He keeps messing with those bees. Come on, Leo, stop messing with the bees.
What was in this cat's nose for a second time? Was it a cricket, a grass blade, a bee stinger, or a pebble? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with 2 words any business owner wants to hear: extra income. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for Seattle businesses to assist with local deliveries. You get paid for each package delivered. Amazon Hub Delivery has no startup cost, no long-term contracts, and no delivery experience required. If you're a Seattle business ready to assist with local deliveries, sign up today at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify is here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: interior decorating on profile. We got a 6-year-old cat had to be taken to the vet a couple weeks ago by there, and he keeps on sneezing and rubbing his face. Something was lodged in his nose. You think the owner would have known better because 2 years ago, the same thing happened.
Yes.
Now, maybe the owner didn't know what was in there, but had a pretty good idea that for whatever reason, crap gets stuck in his cat's nose. So, was it a cricket, a grass blade, a bee stinger, or a pebble?
And Brian, that is the very question we posed to you. Let's start with D-Ted Smith.
Uh-oh.
D-Ted Smith, you went with the old bee stinger.
Stinger.
It was not a bee stinger. Brian, you went with a cricket, which we know how cats are. It makes sense. I'm afraid it was not a cricket. And Miles, you went with the old grass blade.
Yeah.
You are correct. Spoken like a true cat owner.
Yeah. Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with 10.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got Stephen Colbert.
Okay.
Seth Meyers. The Jimmies.
Kimmel and Fallon.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. All these guys have teams of talented writers helping come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
35-year-old woman in Florida got arrested for domestic battery after assaulting her boyfriend with his Apple Watch, which means he didn't even realize it was happening without the watch telling him.
I think it's The Ted Smith.
Yeah, I'll say it's you.
Yeah, that's me.
You are being attacked.
Oh, my God, Ted. So my buddy Charlie, you know Charlie, he got a brand new Apple Watch, all right? So every time this weekend, we were playing golf, every time he was in the bunker and swung the club, it asked if he fell down.
Oh, no.
Have you fallen down? I don't know what. Regular shot, nothing. But if you got in the sand and swung, did you fall down? He had to break. Now.
The Sims have added polyamory to its gameplay. And not to be outdone, Atari released the new Miss Pac-Man Hawk Tua version.
Fallon,
Kimmel.
Colbert.
The Sims has finally added polyamory. Not to be outdone, Atari released new Ms. Pac-Man Hawk-Tua version.
Temperature records are being broken all across America as a brutal heat wave continues to slam the U.S. When it gets this hot, you really start to understand why they lock up all the deodorant at CVS.
Kimmel?
Fallon.
Temperature records are being broken all across the country as a brutal heat wave continues to slam the U.S. When it gets this hot, you really start to understand why they have the deodorant locked up at CVS.
I often feel like people stealing stuff from grocery stores are not worried about deodorant.
They should be, but they're not.
Drugs disguised as Taco Bell burritos were found during a Tennessee traffic stop. Apparently, meth, LSD, THC, and fentanyl-laced gummies, pills, and marijuana were concealed in Taco Bell wrappers and tortillas, making it the second most dangerous ingredient you could find in your Taco Bell burrito.
Myers.
Yes, Colbert.
Drugs disguised as Taco Bell burritos were found during a Tennessee traffic stop. Apparently, meth, LSD, THC, and fentanyl-laced gummies, pills, and marijuana were concealed in Taco Bell wrappers and tortillas, making those the second most dangerous ingredients you could find in your Taco Bell burrito.
I mean, it's not a bad hiding spot.
It's not. The problem was she had so many.
Yeah.
That was a real tip-off. Yeah. Cops look like, who has 40? And Miles made a good point. You went to Taco Bell. We can believe that. You made a big purchase. I can believe that. You only got burritos.
You didn't get any soft tacos.
Right. You didn't change anything else.
Dude, you're right. I often will get a lot of food at Taco Bell.
But it's different stuff.
Yeah. The only thing you'd really double up on is probably like a soft taco or a hard taco.
Understood. And I honestly think, and Miles nailed this last week, man, I think the cops just looked in and said, the only reason this is suspicious is because you're telling me you only bought burritos. You're going to a party, you only bought
burritos. You don't have a drink.
Come on.
You don't have even a drink. Nothing.
Hey, just burritos.
Just 40 burritos.
So everybody knows Ozzy Osbourne and Lemmy from Motorhead. They were good buddies. Well, now Sharon Osbourne says she's working on a cartoon featuring Ozzy and Lemmy as superheroes.
What would your issue be that you need to call them to help?
I don't know. I mean, like she says it's very, very funny. It's irrelevant and funny. Hopefully somebody will buy it and that'll go out. We're excited about it. I mean, I guess it could be kind of interesting.
Sure.
Just because they're like an unlikely duo who are stopping crime. It's also like, I mean, it's Ozzy and Lemmy. I feel like they broke a lot of laws over the years and probably committed a lot of crimes.
I am sure they have, yes.
Yeah, but now they'll be superheroes, which is fair, you know. But most people don't know that Batman spent, when he's not Batman, when he's Bruce, spends a lot of money on cocaine.
Women,
all that kind of stuff. So, you know, these happens to any of it. Obviously, you know, Lemmy's passed away, so who knows? I will say this. They're such rock icons.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I'd at least give it a shot.
If Netflix, any of the streaming services pick it up, like, you know, somebody, like, people out there are watching.
Of course.
Just because it's them.
And the idea of Ozzy Osbourne as a superhero is comedic enough. Because I picture him just flying, like, into buildings. Not on purpose. I mean, just quite by accident, like hitting the brick on the outside. Oh, you called.
I would also say, too, like, Sharon, like, I like the idea. Maybe they're developing it. But, like, I'm with you. I would try to hire somebody who's a funnier, like a good funny person that knows rock that could like write this cartoon to be exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what it needs to be.
Maybe they're like bumbling superheroes.
That's what and who knows, but that is what I would picture.
Like a laser shoots out of his mole.
Yeah, well, two lasers.
Because there's already like, is it right? Like, I haven't watched Deadpool, but isn't he kind of like a goofy superhero?
I mean, he's vicious and all that, but yeah, his dialogue makes him silly, I guess is the best way to put it.
All right. I feel like there's been shows about like kind of goofy cops, bumbling cops, but like, is there one about superheroes?
I mean, maybe the Tick.
Yeah.
I think the Tick is probably the closest to a quote-unquote bumbling superhero because he didn't particularly have superpowers. He was just...
I mean, the Boys to a degree.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then there's another show on Amazon, Invincible. That's a cartoon superhero about basically a super family where one of the guys is like coming into his own as a superhero. Like, he's not used to having his superpowers, and all of a sudden, like, bam, you can fly. Like, it's not like you just jump off a building and you're good to go. Like, there's some clumsiness to it.
Yeah, you got to learn how to fly.
And what if you're scared of heights? I mean, think about it reasonably.
Oh, yeah.
If I say, Ted, look, you didn't know this. You turned 18. Me and your mom are going to share this with you. You actually come from a group of superheroes. And you two at 18, you can develop your superhero powers. One of the greatest things, son, you can fly. You're like, Dad, I've always been scared of heights.
Right.
Like, I can fly, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Just because I can do it, I'm not comfortable. We don't want a superhero flying through the city vomiting on the people below.
Just wetting himself up.
Or like, if I found out I'm Aquaman, I'd be like, bro, I really don't like deep, dark water. I mean, that's cool.
But then you could see under the water.
Yeah, I don't want to. And I know I can communicate with the fish, but like, you picked the wrong Aquaman, homie. Like, there's no chance I'm doing this. I would rather. Miles, you're scared of heights. You want to fly.
No.
Exactly.
What if that was the catch? You could get superheroes, but it's only what you're afraid of.
So I'd have to be like Snake Man?
Exactly.
I'd be
Like,
Spider-Man.
You could talk and interact with snakes.
But you could not wear shoes. So all the time you're at your feet.
Barefoot Snake Man?
Barefoot Snake Man.
That'd be
Those are your
tough.
two right there.
He summons them from the toilet.
Yeah. Right. Like, just break the glass.
And you got to kiss other people's feet when you meet them.
Oh, God. So then I'm just like throwing up guy, puking guy. What's his special powers? He pukes. I think everybody in here enjoyed Anchorman.
Yeah.
Did you? I want to say that movie's almost 20 years old.
It's 20 years old.
20 years old.
God, get to that age, you go, God, no way.
I know.
20 years.
Milk.
Well, apparently, the end of Anchorman had to be completely rewritten and reshot. I was going to say, the climactic scene where the panda gives birth at the zoo and the news team fights a bear was actually a second attempt at bringing the film to a satisfying conclusion. Will Ferrell said in the movie originally ended with Christina Applegate's character getting kidnapped by a radical vigilante group and the rest of the news team coming to rescue her. But you might not know this, but like with movies sometimes, like they'll preview them to audiences and stuff.
Oh, right.
So they did that, and then he's like, it flopped. We just lost the audience. We had to basically reshoot the whole ending. How long do you think it took them to reshoot the whole thing? Just the ending, not the whole movie.
2 weeks.
A week.
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on the 20th anniversary, if they say, do you want to watch the one that was released or the original cut, wouldn't you, on any movie?
You're going to go the original.
Just to see what was different, just to see whether it was a test audience or it just hit the cutting room floor. Like, I know they have the extended versions and all that. It used to be on DVD and Blu-ray. But in this instance, everything that was kind of like left out, I mean, make that available. As far as the entire movie. It might be a completely different movie. But
I agree.
Yeah, and especially if you like a comedy enough, you've watched it a bunch of times, you would definitely like to see the alternate the
alternate version,
Yeah. And it might suck, but also, like, look, it's Anchorman. There's got to be at least
4 or 5 jokes in there.
I was going to say 3 to 5, but you're exactly right. There's got to be like some jokes in there that you'd be like, oh, this is still a good one.
And you can watch it and still say, hey, I get why they changed it, but this was still good.
And sometimes you'll find that it actually is better. You look at the Snyder version of Justice League.
Yeah.
You know, when Justice League first came out, it was okay. People are right. When that Snyder version came out, all of a sudden it was one of the greatest movies.
It was a lot darker.
Yeah.
But like anything, you're a director.
Context.
You make this movie a ton more context. I actually sat down and watched all 3 hours of it, whatever the hell it was, and I'm like, this is a much better movie than was it Warner Brothers or whoever the hell it is distributes it. Because they watch it and go, it's a little too dark. It's a little fine. You got to make your cuts. They change what the villain look like. All this crap. You put it out, then the movie flops. Then you put out the director's cut, and people go, well, yeah, this is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, and that's the good thing I will say about like superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's not good, like a few years later, just be like, all right,
do it again.
Same superheroes, just somebody else redo it.
Even if it's successful. There was Tobey Maguire? Yes. Tobey Maguire? Spider-Man, right? Mm-hmm. And then for no reason at all, big forehead dude, whatever his name is.
Garfield.
Andrew
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. He plays Spider-Man. You're like, they're okay. We just don't like him. All right, let's just make it again. And they got whatever his face is, Dayton Zendaya. I do not remember their names.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, and Vice TV, they have a new special. I think I don't know if it's out or they've been talking about it. That's basically talking about how that Spider-Man movie basically, like, there hadn't been a Batman movie or anything for a while. Mm-hmm. That Spider-Man movie comes out, everybody's like, he can't play Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, yeah, turns out the superheroes are back because that Spider-Man movie comes out.
It's funny. No matter who you put in a superhero role, they always get panned, right? So it's Tobey Maguire. He can't play Spider-Man. He's too nerdy. I'm like, but you're also playing Peter Parker, who's a nerd. He's the perfect choice for this. Oh, God, I'm trying to think. There's one other one like that. They didn't want to put out Iron Man because they're like, well, nobody read Iron Man as a comic. That movie blew Marvel's ass up, man. Right. And now everyone likes Iron Man, even though they didn't care back in the day. Michael Keaton, when he was cast as Batman in the original set of movies, there was like an actual backlash. Why are you going to get a comedian to play it? That movie blew up. Like, don't worry about it. Actors are actors.
That was one of the guys that was hating on Heath Ledger playing the Joker. 10 Things I Hate About You. The guy's a rom-com actor. Right. Good Joker. Dude, he blew my mind. I didn't think that anybody could follow Nicholson.
He crushed Nicholson.
He slayed it, dude.
Nicholson was funny. He wasn't scary. Yeah. Right?
Well, look at, I can't think of the actor's name right now. Frodo.
Elijah Wood, yeah.
Yeah. Like, watch him at Green Street Hooligans.
You know what I mean? They play a badass in that?
Yeah. It's awesome. That's what I'm saying. But
Psycho in Sin City, too.
Yeah, just two different characters. I mean, it turns out that's why actors get paid to be actors.
What?
It's almost like why they're called actors.
Right. They can be something they're not.
That's right, Al Pacino. We're talking to you. You can do other things. Robert De Niro. You've had a long career playing one character. Branch out a little bit, man.
There are those actors that are just them.
Yeah, they're just them. And every single
Bruce Willis is another one.
Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, I think a lot of them are.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends kind of more if you like him or not.
Sure. I mean, like Joe Pesci. I like Joe Pesci. And even though Joe Pesci is always Joe Pesci, I find him entertaining. Be Lethal Weapon, it could be Home Alone, doesn't matter.
Danny DeVito.
Denzel.
Right. Like, I like Denzel, but oftentimes, right, he doesn't veer that far off. And it's hard. Because at the end of the day, it's still a human being acting.
Sure.
So your mannerisms are always going to kind of be the same.
That's true.
Right? I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like when my family was in town, right? If you watch me and my brother talk as I'm doing this right now, you're like, Jesus Christ. You're doing the exact
Are they
same
hand
thing.
fighting? Nope. Just talking.
So we were talking about earlier last week, you had the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
I would say the viewership was down by at least 4 in the studio.
5 if you include my wife.
All right, 5. But Chestnut, he's still out there, man. All right. On July 4th, right, he ate a bunch of hot dogs, I want to say, at an Army base in Texas. Just devoured it. So then the Monday, he was eating boneless wings, putting down 200 boneless wings in under 38 minutes.
God damn.
Right.
I think the hot dog thing is more impressive. Because
he ate 57 wieners in 300 seconds on July 4th.
What do you
but the
think
nuggets
his
are
bathroom
smaller, right?
smells
They're not
like?
like chicken strips. It doesn't seem like a very high number.
What? Read the number again.
Talking about for nuggets in 30-some minutes.
He had 35 minutes.
Because a hot dog is 15 minutes. So you have 15 minutes, you knock down 57 hot dogs. He ate like how many nuggets in a half an hour? They're nuggets. I mean, I could put down 20 nuggets in 10 minutes on my own. Trust me, I did it the other night because I was stoned.
Yeah, well, and I think, too, right, Buffalo Wild Wings has, like, free wings a couple nights, like, endless boneless wings or something. So I think they got Buffalo Wild was like, hey, come over here and eat a bunch of them.
Absolutely.
All right, okay.
Well, it's the thing. Anyone can hire him now.
Yeah, but it was also the next day, too, so we're pretty close. I mean, how many days do you need to take a break?
I'm just saying, what does his bathroom smell like?
Chestnuts.
Big old chicken strips.
And I've been saying this for years. I still contend, like, we need an eating contest where there's football on. Like, for me, like, right? Like,
just the 3 hours of the game?
Well, I'd say a full slate of games. So I get to watch the 1
o'clock, Red Zone.
10 a.m. Right, put on Red Zone, watch the late game. Then I could put up some numbers. I just don't eat that fast.
Right.
And I'm scared of choking.
How many hot dogs can you crush in this commercial break and go?
Right, like I'm kind of with you. 200 boneless wings, like, I could eat that in a Sunday, I bet. Yeah. Mixing up all the flavors and everything. Could be wild. I'd also probably die of a ranch overdose.
Overdose that ranch.
I was going to say, I was talking about Vice earlier. They also have a good special on about the United Gangs of America. So pretty interesting. And some of the gangs, frankly, I haven't even heard of yet, but it's a good show.
Okay. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Hi, and welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Oh, my schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
Maybe it's time to embrace the joy of staying in. With comfortable beds, pillow and decor, mood lighting, and so much more, you can turn your bedroom into the place to be.
Oh, sounds like a dream.
We've got you. Visit us in-store or at IKEA-USA.com/sleep to create your dream bedroom today.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man is murdered by two women in D.C. because they needed to steal his thumb. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, a clown is busted in a prostitution sting, and for $100, he'll make you two car dealer employees take joyride and total $100,000 ride. Man has snakes in his pants, but only one is single-eyed. And to California, where I-5 holds its first ever salsa festival. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. We go to Connecticut, where a local car dealership is in some deep water. A customer brought in a practically new 2018 Chevy Camaro ZLE1E Hendrick Edition, sporting a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 engine, just 989 miles on the odometer, and a value of about $97,000, needing the service department to have a look at the clutch, giving them specific instructions that the car was not to leave the lot. But we can't blame the dealership employees for breaking that particular rule.
I understand.
They did take the rare sports car out for a little joyride, hitting speeds over 90 miles per hour out on the interstate before crashing the car into the guardrail, totaling the vehicle.
Oh, man.
The owner is now suing the dealership.
Yes, he is.
Sorry.
He's going to win that lawsuit.
Yes, he is. There's no two ways about it. Jobs will be lost. Money will be lost.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd be so pissed.
And it's not just the money that you're out. This is a rare car. Being able to find this again is almost impossible. Uh-huh. And I really, really, really liked having this car. Got it. In other news, sick story from our nation's capital. 2 women have been arrested following a murder. The victim of the story is a man in his 50s that was found after friends and relatives couldn't get in contact with him. Authorities found him after he'd been hit over the head, stabbed multiple times, and even had his thumb cut off. Jesus. It was later discovered that the thumb was no random action, as 2 women were found with the digit in their possession, having used it to access the victim's accounts, treating themselves to Uber rides, marijuana, and alcohol. One of the 2 claimed the victim to be her sugar daddy, although that was never confirmed, and the 2 were arrested on murder charges. All of this happening in an area known to this particular crew, PG County, Maryland.
Yep, that makes sense. Where was it at? Do you know what town? They're just all over PG, just loving life, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
I like that. He's my sugar daddy. It doesn't mean you can cut off his thumb after murdering him.
Right. That's still...
There's no relationship that you can have with anyone where you can murder them and cut off their thumb.
Right. And
oh, don't worry, it's my brother. It doesn't matter.
At that point, you just
what excuse are you going to give? Obviously, we killed him. Obviously, I cut off the thumb. Like, I have nothing else to say. We know how.
Hold on, I need to set up his Apple Pay. Let me grab this out of my pocket.
I know. That's what. Right. I mean, that's also just morbid.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't sweat it. Yeah. PG County subs it up.
The fact that you can do that too is just astonishing. Like, hang on, let me just pull out his thumb so I can get into his phone. Like, good golly.
And it seems to me you'd have to do it really quick because the thumb's going to start to shrivel up and get weird where it's not going to be recognized for its print anymore.
The heat signature, I think, also has to be a factor there, too. I think so. For certain phones.
That's why I keep it in your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, your pocket.
Yeah. It's also like, you just forget there's some just awful, terrible human beings.
That's a fact.
Right. Thank you, Ted, because that story was not a reminder of exactly
just bad people.
God.
Messy situation on northbound I-5 in California. Local highway patrol posted to X about an accident that they were in the process of cleaning up. A commercial truck that had overturned and spilled a full trailer's worth of tomatoes all over the road. Crews spent hours cleaning up the mess, even having to open up the center divide to allow traffic to pass through. It was eventually cleaned up by 1 this afternoon. No injuries were reported. However, that photo's pretty awesome. I know that one took forever to clean up because tomatoes, man.
Right.
Good God, they get everywhere. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
Over in Rhode Island, a 4th of July celebration quickly turned into a rescue mission. On a video that was uploaded to TikTok, we see a water fire celebration in which fire spinners are being boated around a waterway for all to enjoy, but the camera focuses on a small animal that's floating in the water, clearly struggling, a small bunny.
A bunny?
A bunny. A little bunny. Just floating in the water there.
Okay.
It wasn't even moving. I thought it was dead. It was just floating in there. Shortly after, we see a woman swimming in the water toward the animal, lifting it up and out of the water for air. She attempts to swim her way back to shore before she's rescued by one of the boats in the celebration. There's literally a dude in like a grass skirt with flaming rods. He's like, just pull her up, grab the little inner tube. And in front of a bridge full of onlookers. So
I thought you were going to say they accidentally lit the rabbit on fire.
Oh, no.
And threw it back in the water.
That came later. That was the next part of the celebration.
They called it dinner.
Good part. Men's Room Sports, your Seattle Mariners came to life last night against the Padres, winning the game with a dominant 8-3 victory over San Diego, ending the series losing streak. And they're looking to go for the win tonight as Bryce Miller takes the mound. That game currently wrapping up over on Root Sports. Finish it, boys. Finish the doggone game. As far as your weather, we're cooling back down once again. Temperatures are expected to dip down to the 60s tonight, bottoming out around 62 in the wee small hours of the morning. That makes way for clear skies and a high of about 82 tomorrow. So it is going to be perfect drinking weather. If you're looking for something cool and refreshing to sip on, I invite you to grab a crisp, cold, refreshing Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing Company. It has been found on tap in this here Pacific Northwest at the Forum in Tacoma. Gotta love it. New Moon Craft Tavern in Port Angeles and our friends up in Montlake Terrace. Ringer's Pub has been known to carry Men's Room IPA, and you can find a comprehensive list of locations on the Men's Room page of KISW.com. That is it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Big dummy next time, and the head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for Seattle businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, and quite another navigating the world of negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. Guidance from an agent who's a Realtor can make all the difference, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.